times.
Poop.
I might be alive.
Poop.
I might have just died.
Poop.
Open the box and you'll find I
Poop.
might be alive. I might have just died. Up in the mountains, I'm high. Down by the river, bug bite. I forgot the next line. It's my own song. Can't even remember the lyrics. Isabel's here. Woohoo! All right, perfect. I was like, what if we took too long? And then Isabel's like, you took too long. But it looks like she.
Not my fault. You said it would be 1 hour, and I beat Dragon Quest 3 in like the 30 minutes it took you to make dinner.
Yep. No, you gotta remember, it's Trixie time. Trixie time is always at least 3 times the number I say. Like, as a general rule, if I say, like, I'll be back... Usually, if I say I'll be back later tonight, it means I will not be back for a month. But this time, because Crona's here,
yeah,
we came back. But yeah, we chillin', we gas, and I actually just made dinner for you and Bird, and then reheated my burger from last night because I knew I still had burger.
Damn, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. That was a long burger break. It's still going. It's happening right now.
I have to lean all the way forward to read the chat. Said that was a long burger break.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I should probably move it closer, huh?
Only a little.
Move my food out of the way.
Putting the burger on top of the little device there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I probably shouldn't do that, actually. I've broken one of these before. I don't need to have to buy another one.
I don't even know what that is. What would you call that device?
Preamp.
A preamp?
Yes, preamp.
Preamp.
It supplies power to the microphone.
Oh. Fancy. I just have a USB mic. Because I'm cheap.
This is, I think this mic was like $160 or so, which is not that bad, but
yeah,
it's a Shure Beta 58A, because the Shure 58 is like a very famous stage microphone that is usually like the main, like you can find it basically anywhere. This is like an updated version of it that is got like just a little more low end, which makes my voice sound a little crispier. Dripping ooze.
The ooze?
The ooze.
The mysterious ooze?
I used it as an excuse to procrastinate on homework, which will now be finished at 11:30 p.m. They still do homework?
What, did you think that homework
I thought homework
illegal?
was gone. I thought they had phased it out. Like,
oh no, everything is homework now because it's on the computer.
Oh shit, you're right. It's all homework, isn't it? I swear somebody had told me that they gave up on homework, or like the schools stopped doing it.
Well, had you not
I know
heard...
I gave up on homework as of like 10th grade. I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Well,
I don't dignify this anymore.
Have you not heard about the children using AI to do their homework for them?
That's brilliant.
That has been a huge thing for the last couple of years now.
The sad fucked up part is I probably wouldn't have done that, like, because I never did like any cheating on my work. I just didn't do it if I didn't want to do it. But
I mean, if there was an AI to like do like math homework and also show the work so I could get away with it, then yeah. As far as like writing essays goes, I mean, I don't know. I did actually enjoy writing somewhat. Like English class was always my favorite subject, but I don't know if I liked it enough to do all of my homework. I probably would have used AI at least to help structure and shit.
Yeah.
Just because it's there and it makes life so much easier. Like homework fucking sucks.
I could definitely see my like lonely ass 16-year-old self having whole conversations with an AI, but only for like a day, and then I'd probably get exhausted about it.
Yeah. Well, like we had Cleverbot, and it was fun to play with for like 30 minutes, and that was it for me. I also want to say I probably would not have used AI on like college assignments, just because I think of like college, like that, it feels like there's a higher level of respect there. Like there's supposed to be mutual respect with like you and your professors and stuff. It's like you're entering adulthood in a way. Whereas
if
in
you're
high
going
school,
to a good college, then yeah.
Whereas in like high school, I had zero fucking respect or like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it just felt like a fucking joke.
Mhm. What if Obi-Wan Kenobi was trans? She'd be, um, I guess Obi doesn't really sound like a masculine name in the first place, does it? Or is his first name Obi or Obi-Wan? It's all
Obi-Wan.
of it, right?
It's
Obi-Wan?
hyphenated, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Obi-Wan could definitely be a gender-free name, I feel like.
What if Obi-Wan was actually trans mask? What if
What if
he was a
Obi-Wan
trans
is
man?
a trans man? Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
interesting. I mean,
I honestly, I think that makes him sexier. It makes him like 10 times more attractive
as if
than
he
already
could
is.
be sexier. Ewan McGregor, like one of the
Yeah.
hottest guys ever.
I am specifically thinking of the Ewan McGregor version. When people
Mhm.
say Obi-Wan, does anyone think of Alec Guinness? He's like
No,
super
surely
old.
not.
He's not in the old movies that much. I feel like everyone remembers Ewan McGregor more.
In my mind, they're just the same guy. It's
Fair.
Ewan McGregor grew up to be that guy somehow. Time paradox, whatever. One day, Ewan McGregor, when he's old, will just disappear, and we'll all be like, "Oh, he probably entered a time warp and went back to go be Obi-Wan, old Obi-Wan." Like it'll just make sense, you know,
Yeah.
when the time comes.
Stepped into a time machine so he could be in Star Wars.
ChatGPT talks like a transgender redditor. It's odd. It told me I'm not a clocky brick. Does ChatGPT like adapts to you though, right? Like
Yeah.
I assume it talks to you the way that it thinks you are.
Yeah, so you're saying you are a trans redditor?
I don't know if she's a redditor, but you use Reddit. You would count as a
Yeah.
redditor, right?
I try not to because
Do you post or only read?
I don't post. I have commented, but I every time I do that, I end up deleting my account because Reddit is infuriating. It's like I'll end up being like, I'm gonna try engaging with this fandom, and then they make me really annoyed, and then I delete everything. So like these people are horrible. I don't consider myself a redditor. I consider Reddit like a bad habit that I'm actively trying to quit. It's like crack to me. It's like, no, I don't want this. It's like heroin or something.
Yeah.
Like this is a bad habit I'm trying to kick. It's not something I enjoy.
I
think of a redditor as someone who's like, yeah, Reddit is so much better than the other social medias. That's like my go-to.
circa like 2010 to 2012, I found Reddit to be very useful because it really was like if you're interested in one subject, everything about that subject will be collected there. And like the best thing about subreddits was the sidebar. Like fuck all the links. Like
Yeah.
whatever gets collected in the sidebar is always the necessary useful information. So like particularly back then, like my friends were getting into fitness and stuff, so they would go, you know, find a Reddit for like a type of fitness, and then it would have all the necessary links, you know. But then like once you know all the stuff, it just becomes the most repetitive shit in the world, where it's just like every day someone new is learning something that you already learned and talking about it, and it's like, yeah, I know, dude, like lurk for 3 days and you will have already seen this post, you know. But
yeah, it's just boring after a while. If you want all of the real insider information, you don't go to Reddit. You go to like the dorky forums where all the old people are. Reddit's all the teenagers who are just discovering everything for the first time. It's just a revolving door. Like, hello, I just figured this out. It's like, yeah, we all did that.
Particularly Today I Learned. That was a big problem on there, which was my favorite Reddit board, because when you first get on, it's like all this interesting information, and then it's just repeating that ad infinitum. Isabel said I'm an X4chaner, which is significantly more embarrassing. I still can't get over the fact that I, having also been an X4chaner, have a like decent % chance of having interacted with Jeffrey Epstein directly at some point, because apparently he was a huge U board user, the Yuri board, which doesn't make any sense to me. But apparently Epstein was big on the Yuri board, which was like the most innocent of the adult boards, you know, like so that's shocking. But
I never was on 4chan really. I tried it one time just to see, because I don't know, I probably heard you talking about it in a podcast or some shit, and I was trying to like navigate the site and figure out what the fuck it was, and just all the boards are, it's not self-explanatory at all, so I just looked through it for like a couple minutes and then bounced off because I'm like, I don't fucking know what this is. Like it just looked like the most disorganized, uninteresting forum possible.
It is. It was that. the useful thing about 4chan back in the day was that, like, you could find someone who knew what you were talking about no matter what. Like, if you could bring up the most obscure anime in the world on the A board, and like someone would know what you were talking about. It might only be one person, you know, you might not get much of a thread, but at least you would know that somebody else had seen the fucking thing. And
Okay.
that was always gratifying to me.
Interesting.
Particularly with the anime manga board. But over time, it just got to be like the, you know, I mean, the culture was always toxic on 4chan, but like, it similar to Reddit, it gets repetitive. Like, you see the same arguments happening every day.
Yeah.
If I could distill 4chan down to one thing, it's that every thread would start with the first answers will always be yes and no. So like, if you said like, is this show any good, the first answers are going to be yes and no, and then every more nuanced version of that will progress from there. But like, no matter what, you will never get one answer. You will always get the dramatically opposed answers every single time.
That's awesome.
But then of course everyone is just the meanest they could possibly be.
Yeah. That's, yeah. I gathered enough information about the culture of 4chan to know I shouldn't go there eventually. It's just like all the funny green texts that get posted elsewhere. And then I was pretty active on Twitter for a couple of years, and then Twitter, I feel like it kind of broke my brain.
Yeah.
Like, it exacerbated all the symptoms of ADHD and made my life worse permanently.
Yeah, see, finding out that Epstein created the political board did
Yeah.
not surprise me. Finding out that he was using the Yuri board was the shocker to me.
Yeah.
Like, the political board had to have been created by, like, him or the CIA or both or something. Like, it's all feds. Like, oops, all feds. The poll board was just like, if you want to know what feds are thinking, go to the poll board. And, like...
Oops, all feds.
the glowies, as we called them. Because if somebody was obviously a Fed, you would say they glow in the dark. And everyone on there was obviously a Fed. Which, like, is not that... Like, people don't realize that, like, 1/10 of all Americans work for the government in some capacity. Like, so it's not like there's not... People act like the Fed is like, oh, I can't believe you think you're running into federal agents. It's like, they're everywhere. What do you mean? Like, every city has its own federal agencies, you know? Like... but conspiracy theories are no longer theories anymore. We're living in that world. Hey, we got 100 ARS. Hello, Trixie. Which is the best faction for the New Vegas? I have never played New Vegas.
I played New Vegas.
What's the best faction?
None of them. Fuck them. I hate the NCR because they just have all the same problems as the current U.S. military. I hate, obviously, the Legion are bad because they're literal fascists. I killed House because he's a libertarian. And yeah, basically all the other factions have some fuckiness about them, which is what makes the game interesting. But if I had to pick a favorite...
Tripping you said the mailman is technically a Fed. That's why my dog hates him. Which, when you think about it, means that, like, Landon is a Fed. Like, Butthole Weeb, the Butthole Man, because he's worked for the... I don't know if he still works for the post office. I think he does. But he's worked for the post office, like, as long as I've known him. So he's literally a Fed. And you see the level of operation that he's on. So
yeah, it adds up.
So that's who's running the country. Absolutely ironic and mind-shredding how both sides are completely treating the others like they were obvious Epstein puppets. We all are, you aren't special, hate this new meta. Yeah, absolutely. Of course. Like,
Wait, what?
He's saying he's really mad that both political sides are saying, oh, you guys were under Epstein's control the whole time. And it's like, if you're on a political side, Epstein had something to do with that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they were... all the info is coming from the top, you know?
I'm now Googling a list of New Vegas factions so I can give a proper answer to the question.
I have never played any Fallout games. They're not really aesthetically my thing.
I think New Vegas is the only one I've played so far, but I ended up really loving it, and I did not expect to. Now I'm most interested in playing Fallout 1 and 2, even though Josh really wants me to play Fallout 4 and 76 with him. Neither of those look interesting at all to me.
Bird he played a lot of them because of the show, because he had no interest in the franchise until the TV show, and because he loves Walton Goggins. I don't think he knew who he was before the show, but it made him into a Walton Goggins fan. And so he went and played 4 first and thought it was like, basically his take is it's only fun if you use like the commands or whatever to just the game break commands, and then he played New Vegas because everybody was like, oh, New Vegas is the best game ever, and his first playthrough he just killed everyone, which you can beat the game in like 5 hours if you just keep murdering everybody the whole time. So he got to that ending, it was just like, I don't know, it's kind of lame.
Crazy.
But his biggest complaint was that there's no run, like there's no dash button, so the movement speed was so slow he could not fucking stand it. So he was like, if I didn't have the console commands, this would be unplayable to me.
Yeah, there are mods that make it faster, but I don't know. I think the walking speed did bother me at first until I started engaging with the game a little more, and as I got deeper into it, I realized like that world map is the perfect shape and size for like that running speed to make you feel like you're exploring like that whole, countryside. And if you make it any faster, you realize the map is fucking tiny and it doesn't feel like you're actually exploring Nevada at all.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing. Like I've been there, like I'd much rather just go back to Nevada and just like walk around. Great place to hang out, Nevada. Yeah, mostly a big empty fucking desert, but it's a really interesting big empty fucking desert.
I do really appreciate the design of New Vegas and how much it's made to look like a real life desert and not just a video game desert. It's pretty cool.
Isabel, on that, you said how much money to look at my 10 out of 10s on Rate Your Music. Ask me to do that another time when Crona's not here, because she will not know any of them.
Yeah,
like she's not a music head at all. You listen to like,
I listen to 4 things.
Yeah, like it's like Coheed and Cambria, and even then only like certain songs, right? Like you don't.
I know the words to most of the songs from the 3rd album, and the rest I'm spotty on.
The 3rd album meaning Good Apollo, right?
The In Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth.
That's actually their 2nd album.
That's the 2nd one?
3 is in the name, but you see, the way the timeline works is that it's the 2nd stage Turbine Blade, then In Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth 3, and then Good Apollo on Burning Star 4 Part 1, then Good Apollo on Burning Star 4 Part 2, and then Year of the Black Rainbow is Chapter 1.
Gotcha.
So it's like a prequel to the other 4, so they always intended it to be that way. That's why.
Shows what I know.
It's stupid. It's complicated. It's cult stuff, Alf rules with another 100 ARS. Hey, Trixie, or the other person in the back, that would be Crona.
Hi.
You should subscribe to Gigadonk on YouTube.
For sure.
Linked right there in the description. Have you listened to any Argentinian music like Los Redondos, Cerati, Spinetta, Invisible, and Would You? I definitely would. I've never heard of any of those, but I'm very interested in learning more about South America and Central America in general, and not just because of Bad Bunny, although it helps. We mentioned this. Your phone is at 1%. You gotta plug that in.
Oh, that's kind of fun. Kind of an epic prank.
But yeah, like I don't think I could name a single Argentinian band or any South American band for that matter. But I that's a good place to start. I suppose. I'll look into those bands.
I plugged it in and it just shot up to 7%. That's good.
Whoa! What the fuck?
My phone sucks.
Your phone is a real character.
The hell? Oh no, it's not charging. Now it is. Okay.
Isabel said, "Oh, I figured she was because she likes that niche gay indie folk band I hadn't heard of." True, I also had never heard of that band.
Oh, Pigeon Pit.
Yeah, Pigeon Pit. How did you find out about them?
Oh, my friend.
Okay, yeah. So just a friend
made a video about it. You could watch it. I don't know.
That was like 8 months ago. You know how my memory is.
It's okay. You just have to watch it again.
I could do that.
Make everybody else watch it and give me money.
But yeah, I also at the time had been like, "Oh, you must know some music if you know Pigeon Pit." It's like, no, it's literally just Pigeon Pit and like Coheed and a few other. You listen to the Spider-Man Spider-Verse soundtrack
occasionally,
and
It's usually if I just
Like
if
a
I
few pop punk bands. What is it like? Fall
yeah.
Out Boy or
Hmm.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, I like pop punk. I like 2000s emo and dad rock, and I like just various soundtracks of autistic movies, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I heard some Bird told me that people are calling Kurt Cobain now a murderer, and I didn't realize it was connected to the Epstein files, but I haven't looked into this. I need to know what the story is. Why do people think Kurt was murdered? Which, if it is true, I could believe it because I do think that there are certain people who are too, like, just considered too revolutionary and the government just annihilates them. And I think that these days they more so try to work with those people if they can, but I definitely think there's people who, if they consider you like uncontrollable, they don't want you there, you know? So, did Kurt get killed? Maybe. But also, would I believe he killed himself? Absolutely. He didn't seem like a happy guy, you know? Didn't seem like life was that easy for him. But, Trixie, I don't remember if you said this in your recentish Pokemon vid about Horizons, but I just started watching it. It has a lot of Eureka 7 and Laputa thing going on, and I love it. That sounds right. Yeah. Yeah, because it's, like, very similar to Gecko State, the crew that they join.
I haven't seen Eureka 7. Should I watch that?
I think you'd like it. It's 50 episodes, so you could, burn through it in a weekend or two.
Easy.
Every time I've watched it, I have binged the whole thing. Like, it's very, very bingeable. It's paced really well.
I'm going to have to throw it on 2x speed. Let's go.
There's a lot of people who don't like the first arc because the main character is a petulant child, and the whole first arc is just him getting relentlessly bullied by everybody on the like crew that he joins.
Jesus.
And so, like, if you're watching the show from the perspective of like, I want the main character to be a cool guy, you'll hate it because he sucks, you know. But like, if you're looking at it from the angle of he sucks and therefore it's really funny that all these people are bullying him, it's great. Like, because all the other characters are lovable, so it's just like, you know, it's pretty fun to me. But I've definitely seen a lot of people who don't like how it starts off.
Yeah.
Pokemon Horizons is a much nicer take on something similar. I got fucking Far by Coheed stuck in my head now. Because earlier I played... I have a playlist of my favorite Coheed song from each of their albums. And from Year of the Black Rainbow, I had... Oh, please, this is what I can give. What else do you need from me? I might be sick, broken, torn to pieces. So, whatever this is, this thing that now I've become. You hate it so much, you keep on running from it. No matter the distance. Oh, no matter how far. That man can write the fuck out of a chorus. God damn. Claudio, I love you. The script supervisor for it, Daisato, wrote Eureka 7. Oh, yeah. I didn't realize Daisato worked on Pokemon Horizons, but yes, he is I think Eureka 7 was like his idea, if I remember correctly. Edwin Beta 2806. Also, he was a writer on Cowboy Bebop. That was where he started off, I think. Edwin Beta 2806 says, are the elites of our time a different species contacting aliens, or basal primates with far too many resources? The second one. They're just people who've... Well, okay, and here's the thing as well, right? When I was growing up, there was not really an expectation of people to be moral the way that there is now. Like, all this woke stuff is new. All this, like, you can get canceled for being a pervert, like, that's totally new. So when I was growing up, I felt like there was an expectation that, like, people get rich to do bad things. Like, people get rich by doing bad things to do bad things, and everyone was aspiring to that. Like, because if you asked people, like, why do you want to be rich, the answer is always like, I want to be able to fuck whoever I want. I want to be able to, you know, do all the drugs and, you know, like, party. Like, you don't need that much money. No one needs that much money. More than $1 million is more than you will ever figure out what to do with, you know? So, like, to my mind, it was always like, yeah, everybody wants to be rich so they can go do whatever the fuck they want. And then over time, we started being like, hey, but the psychological damage that does, like, we didn't used to talk about people being victims the way we do now. Victim blaming was real big, in the 90s. Like, people did not believe women. People did not, so I think that we are, like, culture is it's in the healing process, but it's already tremendously healthier than it's been in American history. Like, I don't think the United States was ever a, like, safe and empathetic place until, like, it's now becoming that way. And it's not that I don't think any culture on earth was ever healthy. I'm sure there have historically been, like, good, like, cultures of good people, and ultimately you need some kindness and some empathy to make things work. But most of the time, the structures that are in place is somebody wants power, they want to be able to make people do shit for them, so they create a whole system for that, purpose. But yeah, I think that, like, the ideation of communism is way stronger than it used to be before the internet. And I do believe we're winning. Like, I think good is winning.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you feel about Steely Dan? I fucking love Steely Dan. I have the Citizen Steely Dan box set that my mom's friend gave to me like 15 years ago, which is like a collection of just all of their music on like 6 CDs or something like that. You ever heard of Steely Dan?
Of course.
Of course. What Steely Dan do you know?
Oh, I don't know. I've just heard of
You've
them.
just heard of them. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. They're great. I was introduced to them by Ghost Lightning when I was in the Philippines, because they were his dad's favorite band. And so, even because they were like pretty much only active in the 70s, and then they had like a couple albums in the 2000s that nobody cares about, but like they were putting out an album like every year through the 70s. So he had always looked at it as like, oh, this is my dad's music, and then he ended up getting into them, introduced me to them, and like, aside from just sounding good, they have amazing lyrics. There's Ghost Lightning also showed me Yacht Rock, which is a hilarious internet series about that whole era of like smooth rock music. And in it, when they're introducing Steely Dan, they refer to like their dark, sarcastic lyrics, and Shay just farted off camera hardcore.
Based.
And then in
Giga Shark.
when we were watching that, and they mentioned the dark, sarcastic lyrics, we were like, actually they're dork, sarcastic lyrics. Like, that's what's so great about Steely Dan, is their lyrics are dark and sarcastic but dorky. Very importantly, it's like college kid nerd shit, gay college kid nerd shit, I should mention. Steely Dan was the name of a dildo also. They're named after their college's famous steel dildo. So yeah, they're a goofy ass band. But
do we want to like cover the lens so people can walk in the past the camera without being seen by the internet?
oh yeah, a little bit.
I'm sure Shade doesn't care. I don't know.
Yeah.
I only ask because my partner hates being on camera, so I'm like conscious of that shit.
Good. Yeah. Have a good one. No idea where they go. But I don't want to know, because I don't want the internet to know.
Yeah.
Don't stalk my brother and his wife. They're not married, but whatever.
Whatever. They don't need to know that. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
know
I
nothing.
they're gonna start. They got married. I don't know. Anytime I say wife or husband, I am not referring to a government-sanctioned unity, because I just refer to people if they're together, they're married.
Well, now they know that if I'm streaming and my webcam is off, it's because Josh is home. That's the reason.
That makes sense. Hearing Eureka 7 mentioned made me miss the Anime Alphabet video series. Yeah. The problem I had with that, aside from, like, because I was doing Eureka 7 as a multi-part series, and I only got to the first 2 parts of what would have been, like, 6 or 7 parts. And it was partly because I moved in the middle of making it, but also, and it was really underperforming. Like, the first 2 parts did shit numbers. It was impossible to get onto YouTube without, like, damaging the video beyond recognition. But more than any of that, the way I was writing it was that I was like looking into exactly who did what on the show, and so like I was going through each episode and being like, oh, this episode director did this and this and this, and you could tell their stylistic stuff. And then I didn't realize until I was well into writing it that only the first 28 episodes had like complete data on who worked on them on the site I was using, and the rest of the show I had no clue, and I was like, this means I have to totally change the fucking structure of this, and I've already got 2 parts out. So if I do talk about Eureka 7 again, I'll just have to restart and do it a different way, basically.
We'll just watch the whole thing together. You can show me the television.
Butthole Weave says, love Crona's hair. Miss you, Trixinator. Get that shirt back too. I'll order you another of an anime you like. Also, Gosick is best anime. Go Love Live. I thought you texted me like a week ago that you think Heike Monogatari has dethroned Gosick. So which is it? Is it Gosick or is it Heike Monogatari? Also, are you back in America yet? Because I don't want to send you that shirt and you're not even home to pick it up off your porch, you know. Gary always says, have you seen TFS Sailor Moon Abridged yet? I have not.
I did not know they were doing Sailor Moon Abridged. I want to watch that now.
Is that new? Okay, that's interesting. I should do an abridged series. Yeah. You and I could do a lot of fucking voices.
I love voice acting. It's so fun.
What show would you want to do an abridge of?
Well, Dragon Ball's Taken. So.
Yeah, no, something non-competitive.
I don't know. What's an anime that we both like that is funny?
Let's let chat figure that one out, actually.
Okay.
Tell us what we should abridge.
Soul Eater?
That probably has one, but that could be done. Alf Rules said, hello again. I saw you listen to the new Proto Man album. What did you thought of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What is your rating? You're the best. You're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe, and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. That's Anthony Fantano's ending bit. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
He says all that at the end of each video.
Oh my god.
And then transition. Well, actually, he says that before all that rest of that. Anyway, yeah, it's great. It's awesome. I think so. The woman singer, the one who plays Emily, her voice has always been like just like a little slightly bit cringy, but like it's Proto Men, so that's fine. You know, like it's a cringy idea. I'm willing to like kind of look past it and just be like, you know what, I appreciate that she is like what she's doing, which is basically a Heart impression, like the band Heart. She's like really trying to sound like Heart. But like that part aside, musically it's really good. It's got like there's a few segments of songs that are like lifted, like a few moments where I think the first time I listened to it all the way through, I was like cleaning the kitchen and like making food and stuff, and like there were moments where I just got taken up to fucking heaven. But like just the fact of its existence at all was enough to make me like, I literally can't believe it. It's been 17 years 17 years since Act 2. And I discovered Proto Men because I think Act 1 came out in like 05 or something like that. And I first heard it in like late 07, early 08 or something, probably like that. So like I had only been into them for like a year when Act 2 came out, and I was pretty hype about it, you know. And then even that, I had felt like it took forever because the song Breaking Out, they were playing live like a year before the album. So I had been like a huge fan of the song Breaking Out, like waiting with bated breath for Act 2, you know. And then it finally came and I was like, this is the best, this is awesome. I've listened to it thousands of times, you know. It's been 17 years. And then, you know, with Act 3, they put out like I think it was 4 years later that they put out like a 3-song EP of stuff that would be on Act 3, and then it took another 13 years to get the rest of the album. In that time, they did like a Terminator soundtrack, they did a like Queen live cover album, a different cover album, and even all that was more than 5 years ago. So it was like truly, I was just like mind blown that it was actually real and here. And yeah, it was a great listen. And then I went and watched their like some of their recent Magfest, because they perform at Magfest like almost every fucking year basically. So I watched one of their performances and was just super hype.
Okay, I have to address the chat now because they're all getting really gay.
Oh no.
Said, no homo, but Crona is cute. No chromo, but Hona is cute. Cronoromo, but Hona Soleil cute. And then Landon said, I agree. Crona cute as fuck. No homo, I'm straight, but she a cutie. So this is the goal here. Is that
straight to find Crona cute if
well,
you are,
okay.
identify as a man, but kind of.
Here's the kicker, right? Is that the goal here is to be transgender. Yes. I am trans femme.
Yes.
As in like male to female.
Yes.
However, also am just slightly non-binary enough that anyone who's attracted to me is gay.
Yeah.
Just gotta get into that wiggle room intentionally so that no matter what, you are gay now. Fuck you. You are all entering the LGBT.
I've said many times, I am LGBT and Q. I identify as all of them.
Yeah.
But Landon also with $5 says, why do Shade and wife make sure to avoid me every time I fly over, and my family will mail it to me in Japan? Mommy tricks mommy. I don't think they were avoiding you. Shade just works a lot, and she is usually in her room.
Says I'm
you were
only
here
a little
once.
kid.
Also, what are you talking about? No chromo, but Hona. Oh, I already read that.
And it's like after I said all that, Landon goes, I'm only a little gay. Sure. Sure.
You watch anime. That makes you deeply gay.
Everyone is pansexual, yes.
Well, my belief is that, like, I think everyone should, like, the overarching labels don't make sense. It's like you're attracted to some people. Like, no straight guy is attracted to every woman.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's always way more specific than that.
I'm sure there are some people who are like, who have a binary sexual attraction. It's just, I think there's a lot more people who are queer and just not activated yet because their queerness is only like minimal, and it's so normalized to be straight that like you wouldn't think any different from what you've been conditioned to think by the entire fucking world. That's kind of how it worked for me. Like, once I realized I was bisexual, it was very much like a coming out of the Matrix moment. Like oh fuck, like I was bi the whole time, I just didn't think I was. So I'm like, if that can happen to me at age 23, like who else could that happen to?
It was pretty dramatic.
There's
for
really
me
no
because,
limit.
Like, I've hung out with guys most of my life under the auspice that it's not, you know, it's just not gay, and like it was, though. Like, in retrospect, it was mad gay, and like so like for me it was like a redefining moment of like, yeah, I was gay for my friends. Like, I would have, but like just because I thought of myself as categorically not gay, but it was more like I was just afraid of dick, you know. Like, it wasn't so much that I don't find men attractive as that like the concept of penis scared me, you know. Once I was over that, it was like, oh no.
It's also
there's nothing holding me back anymore.
There's also just the structure of like, once you mentally categorize yourself as straight, then when you do have like a gay thought, you can write it off as an anomaly, or like that just happens like so rarely that it doesn't count, you know.
Alf Rule says, I'm going to sleep. So this is my last question. Which is the best Ye album? Do you still like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy? By the way, he apologized so we can talk about him, which that's pretty funny.
He apologized so we can talk about it.
Well, he apologized, therefore we're allowed to talk about him, is what he means. But
I know. It's
just... but the apology is, you know, it's marketing. It's he still said all that shit, you know.
I'm gonna get more water while you're talking about Kanye.
Okay, the best Kanye album. I have never really gotten into his My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy stuff that deeply. Like, his first 3 albums, the singles are incredible. You know, like I remember hearing Jesus Walks in middle school, you know, and thinking it was a great song. Diamonds Are Forever was a great song. Touch the Sky was fine, you know, but like, when I tried to listen to the full album, I just couldn't really get into it with any of those 3. Never was able to get into 808s and Heartbreak. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, like, didn't appeal to me the first few times I heard it, but when you are in the middle of a crash out, it is the perfect album. Like, it's an album about the ultimate crash out, you know, and so that was how I connected with it. These days, I really try to avoid crashing out. I'm really trying not to be a Crash Out, so I'm not trying to listen to Crash Out music like that. So I don't really go back to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Yeezus I didn't really like, and everything after that is fucking dog shit. So yeah, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is still the best one. It's got All of the Lights, which is by far my favorite Yay song. Turn up the lights in here, baby. Extra bright, I want y'all to see this. But that's mostly just because it's got such a good chord progression. Like, to me, I really think that Ye has been, like, easily the most overhyped musician of all time, because all he did was take hip-hop and put pop chords in it, and it's like, anyone could have done this. Like, it's shocking to me that it somehow took him doing that for people to realize that, like, oh, you can use chords in hip-hop and, like, make it sound like an epic pop song. And it's like, but he just uses, like, very simple, like, repetitive chord structures. He's just really good at picking a chord progression that sounds epic. Like in his album Yay, the one that's just called Yay, I had enjoyed at the time. Going back to it, it does not hold up to me, but the song Ghost Town is really good, and that's another one where it's just like the 4 chords he chose are perfect, you know, like no notes, those 4 chords rule. But Landon said, I don't understand being trans. I like Puwusi, but it gay for me to think Crona is attractive. Come on, homie, crying emoji.
I mean,
it's only gay if the balls touch, right? That's the rule or whatever. I don't know.
It's like, the thing is, it's not really up to you if it's gay. It's up to me if it's God. Gay.
You won't know if it's gay until you figure out if you got into heaven or not. Devil in a New Dress. Christ. Looking at my bitch, I bet she give your ass a bone. Looking at my wrist, I bet it turn your ass to stone. Devil in a New Dress is a song that sounds amazing, but then you realize that it's literally just an Aphex Twin song with drums on it. And Ye did not get permission to use it, and he got sued by Aphex Twin for using it. It's literally just like whole ass an Aphex Twin song with drums over it. So the original, if you really like that sound, go listen to the original song and you'll be like, oh, this is that without Rick Ross fucking going, look at it, my bitch, I bet you give your ass a bone on it, you know.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I totally missed this one from Dean 3684. Hey, Trixie, you talking about Yu Yu Hakusho earlier made me think, is Fingers Around My it don't like this word, I guess, still your favorite YouTube video? It's definitely up there.
Fingers Around My Dear.
Beef PC is probably my favorite YouTube video, though. Beef PC is god tier. I've showed you Beef PC, right?
Describe it to me.
It's an animation. I assume it's like a VTuber clip, but it's like animating over the voice of a VTuber. But there's like a line of computers on a shelf that have like anime eyes, and one of them is like pissed off because she wants to turn it into a Beef PC, and she like, I assume that the vibe is like the original clip. She must have been playing like a gacha or something, and she keeps like pulling, trying to get Beef PC, but she keeps getting Potato PC or something. But the dialogue is, she's just like, Potato PC, no Potato PC, and Beef PC, Beef PC, and then like the screen goes white and she turns into a hamburger and she goes, oh my god, and then she looks next to her and there's a much bigger hamburger and she goes, Big Mac PC, and just look, it's only like a minute long. Go watch Beef PC if you've never seen it. I've showed it on stream like a bunch of times, but Beef PC makes me laugh uncontrollably every time. Fingers Around My Dick is like, I've memorized it so much that like watching it now is just like rote. It's just me, no. But I do like quote it constantly, because that no I do all the time. Somebody asked me something and the answer is no, just no. I never forgot the stench. The same stench of rotting fingers around my dick that came out of your mouth when you got your mouth around my dick. That's some mouth on you. I don't know about you, Hokushin, but nothing gets on my nerves more than fingers around my dick. Now stand your ground. It's so fucking good.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, Beef PC is like right up there with that.
I don't know if I have like a favorite internet video. I guess Space Unicorn is up there, Perry Grips, just because I watch that from time to time.
Soaring through the stars,
delivering the rainbows all around the world. I think what it really does it for me, why it makes me so fucking happy, is because it's just the most simplistic story possible. Is like, I don't know, there's something sensory about it. Like, it sounds really pleasant in my ear holes, and it's so
awesome.
fucking cute. I don't know.
I'm a big fan.
So pure of heart and strong of mind, so true of aim with his marshmallow laser.
Marshmallow laser.
It makes my inner child extremely happy.
Oh, I meant Blame Game? Wait, did I? I thought Devil in a New Dress was the Aphex Twin. Maybe they're both Aphex Twin. No, you're right. Devil in a New Dress is like a classic soul sample. Okay, yeah. I guess I got them backwards. Well, slap my own face off. No, it's been forever since I've listened to Ye. Like,
But fart.
can't say. I mean, I was never like a fan of him, you know, like. So it's never been
I don't know if I could
something
name
I'm in pursuit of, really.
I don't know if I could name a single Kanye song, if I'm being honest.
Good.
Oh yeah, he was the gay fish, right? Yeah, okay, I know that one.
Surrealist and psychedelic manga Rex that isn't Kago or Ultra Heaven, or am I in the wrong medium? You're not in the wrong medium. There's definitely trippy shit. I am probably not the person to come to for that, though. You gotta find some manga experts.
Oh wait, I do know one Kanye song, but it's the one that I can't say the name of on YouTube.
Is it Black Skinhead?
No, the one where
Oh,
it says,
In Paris. You know who's in Paris. Okay, yeah. That's Jay-Z and Ye as Watch the Throne. They teamed up.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, that's who is in Paris, is Jay-Z and Ye. I'm pretty sure that song exists because they literally were like on the run from someone, because the lyrics are "ball so hard motherfuckers want to find me," and they went to Paris and they did a show like to record the music video. They performed that song like 11 times in a row. So like they were just trying to be on stage all day in a very publicly viewable way. And I'm like, if I had someone trying to assassinate me, that's what I would do. You know, like just go be in public all day in like a major city that's not in the country where they're trying to kill me. So that's my theory. I think that song is literally made to dodge
Isabel got it right.
assassination. You got me into Kanye when I was 11. I mean, that makes sense. But like, it's wild because a lot of people, like, there's been a lot of people who've told me that they got into Kanye or Kendrick or like a few other bands because of me, but it's usually just because they were not already in a music sphere, you know, like, because I only made videos about those artists because they were so huge, you know, like that, like, people were asking me about Kanye because they're like, "Oh, you listen to music? Do you listen to Kanye West?" And I was like, "I guess I'll check him out," you know, kind of thing. But like, I was not listening to him at all before making YouTube videos and being asked about my opinions of him. And like I said, I grew up with his singles on the radio, so it's not like I wasn't familiar at all. But I had never listened to a full album until people kept, like, especially on 4chan, like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy would always be on the like top recommended albums, and initially I didn't even like it, but like I said, when you're crashing out, that album hits. But like, you know, in terms of stuff, there's lots of stuff I wish I had talked about because I didn't realize how many people I was gonna get into stuff. Like if I had ever talked about dialect. It's spelled like Dalek, like the fucking Doctor Who guys, except there's an umlaut over the A. But like that's easily the like hip hop group that influenced me the most to get into hip hop, and like to be like a lot of my rap flow and like the way I write lyrics takes from that, you know. So like I never talked about them because no one talks about them. No one is listening to them, and I didn't think my audience would. You know, I thought, oh, people are just gonna not understand this. But like, I'd 1,000 times rather listen to that than Kanye West. You know, like Abandoned Language, one of the best albums in my mind, and like it always shows up on my top albums list. You know, but like I've never made a video that's like, let me explain everything in my top 100 albums list, you know, like uh but yeah, having an opinion on Kanye West is just like, if you talk about music, you have to have a yay take, at least until he became a Nazi, and now nobody wants to talk about him anymore.
Yeah.
Delivering the rainbows, got that in my head now.
That's the best song.
First rapper I ever listened to was Trial of the Golden Witch. Hell yeah. That's a hell of an onboarding right there. The taste in music is basically Suicide Boys, stuff that sounds like them, and a bunch of punk and metal. Suicide Boys has a cool sound, but I've never been able to like really get into them. I just like, I don't know, the vibe is maybe just too like, I don't know why. I've just never been that into Suicide Boys. They don't appeal to me, in spite of the fact that they are very much adjacent to stuff I listen to. I love Denzel Curry, you know, which I feel like is in the same category, but I cannot keep talking about music because Crona's going to completely dissociate.
I'm turning into an iPad kid as we speak. I'll start playing Subway Surfers on stream.
You think the beats overshadow the bars in Dalek? I'm gonna tell you that you are just wrong, and here's why. They overshadow it in the sense that it's hard to hear what the fuck he's saying because the beats are so loud. But I want to read you some lyrics real quick. Oh, I have to be verified my way into fucking into Genius, because I had a thread for a little while on Twitter where I was just like screen capping really good rap lyrics to be like, this is what fucking real poetry is. Like,
oh, would you look at that? This is Trixie the Golden Witch went live about an hour ago with some e-girl. That's weird.
I think about these lyrics a lot. Like, yeah, this is one. Krylon text read off walls at sacred bench, street lights lit, burnt out apartments, the grip of microphone defines the heartless, a swig of old gold and an L to spark this, reminisce to the days of backspins, before the role of MCs reserved for acting, when my real grimy came 2 fists blasting, before the cheer drops, we felt the laughter, halos can't help but shatter, pure pain always comes after, my culture does matter, perfect picture, precisely right mixture, bred in 5 boroughs, an East Coast signature, subterranean verses emerging in mass quantities, mass produced on cassette and LP, but sales weren't the mark of the illest MC. Creates and Tech 12s were tools that blessed me. Beneath this asphalt, below the concrete, we bred in basements where only real men speak. Train of thought thrown askew as I move subdued through corridors known to fellow orators, fucking encore, settled scores before the bridge, rigid temperament won't allow me to forgive, morbid fascination with our soot and ash, at long last prepared to play phoenix, poverty ingrained so my peoples always feel it, scenic qualities were framed in flashed message, remain restless, youth immersed in essence, of culture still fledgling, force-fed feeble lies to point of indigestion. Consult wise men on life's questions, no time for second guessing. Seconds pass to form decades. Pause mixed on blank cassette tapes. Backspun on wax, we learned to crossfade. Wrists quick with trips we threw in dice games. As life changed, I maintained a razored mental, reduced to sense. As life changed, I maintained a razored mental, reduced to stencil. Life which once resembled Renaissance becomes fraud when taken from hands of true gods. As far as I'm concerned, those are perfect lyrics. Like, I could only aspire to something that good. But like that, the use of big flowery four syllable words like in the constant stream is why I think I'm allowed to do that as a rapper, is because they do that. Extremely poetic. That was Paragraphs Relentless. Seek redemption in each sentence. Paragraphs relentless. Trixie had to, Butthole Weave says, Trixie had to explain to me who Drake was last time I was at her house, and Denzel, but I couldn't understand because I only listened to music tricks. I mean, Drake, if you're saying Drake's not music, big agree. Alf Rules is back. It says, hey Trixie, which is the best song is Layla? Layla? I feel like I've heard of that song. Is that song that ends with like because that the ending of that song is really good.
I love that track. Crona zoning out in the background made me remember the fucking Peter Griffin writing with Lois trying to sleep. Yeah, I was just staring off into space. I'm like, I just noticed that lamp over there is a Game of Thrones lamp. It's like from far away, the throne just looks like a pile of shit. But I looked at it more closely. I'm like, oh yeah, those are all the swords. I've seen that image before.
I'm gonna read more dialect lyrics now because this is the one that gets stuck in my head all the time.
Oh, and that's the collector's edition of Dark Souls over there.
I script gutter beats and scribe lyrics, sounds to resonate for days off these ears that simply fear it. Situate my verse 6 inches off curb, eternally perturbed. When will these kids learn? I watch with concern of elder statesmen, only breathed for 3 decades, but displayed I ain't vacant. Ranks of MCs infested with fakeness. It's time to act like men and reawake this with blatant aim at cranium. Dispel your bitch rumors, turn the block with hangers, wires given tumors. Never write my songs for consumers. Ironic cause I write for heads with fat laces on the pumas. Poisonous pen drips ink with each thought. The antidote you sought's been lost. Your hand forced, your truth false. Corrupt world crumbles under feet. Detect deceit on these streets. World's corrupt but you still want more. Knuckle up cause we all stay poor. Time's up but you still want more. Knuckle up cause we ready for war. Yeah, that one gets stuck in my head like every week. For 10 years, 20 years, however fucking long it's been. 2007, so yeah, 10. No, that is 20 years ago. Fuck. Shit. God, I'm old.
Yeah.
What is the best song, though? What is your favorite song? If you had to pick a favorite song, do you think you have one?
I was just checking my letterbox and saw that Phineas just watched Chicken Little and gave it a 3 out of 10. I thought that was interesting. If I had to pick a favorite song, God, I don't know. Maybe a Coheed song, or
I mean, Searching for Tomorrow is a perfect song. Like, there's no notes, absolutely perfect song.
Just check like my most to listen to on Spotify.
I can't get over it. Like, Coheed and Cambria has made like 100 songs I like, and Searching for Tomorrow might be the best one, and it came out last year. Like, that's crazy. It could be recency bias though.
Is there a way to like check that shit? Is there a way to like rank your fucking Spotify with like what songs you listen to the most? Is that possible?
Probably. It usually does it at the end of the year when they give you the Wrapped, but Isabel says, Giga, you're on Letterboxd. You should look at my top 20 favorite movies list. I just posted it today.
Oh, true. Check my phone.
And also, if you want to hear some real hip hop, check out Philadelphia Cop by Sun Kill Moon. I listened to that particular album quite a bit when it came out. I can't remember what it's called. It's like,
oh, there we go.
Valleys of Blood. Something about Valleys of Blood. Okay, my favorite song for a long time was Lazy Eye by Silver Sun Pickups. I don't think I would pick that. Tetragrammaton by the Mars Volta is a definite up there. Cassandra Gemini by the Mars Volta, that might actually be number 1. Now, granted, that's a 32-minute song, so it's kind of cheating.
God damn it!
But it is perfect.
Isabel, are we not friends on Letterboxd? I'm trying to check my friends feed.
I think I've become one of the others. Oh.
Fucking thing's just showing me all of my...
There was a frail serum dripping off his lap dance lapel, punctuated by her decrepit prowl as she washed down the hatching gizzard, soft as a mane of needles, his orifice icicles hemorrhaged by combing her torso to a pile. This vial, the trophy shelves made room for his collapse. She was a mink handjob in sarcophagus heels.
What? Bring me to my knees. Yeah, I have to give it to Cassandra Gemini. I don't listen to it all the time, but I have memorized it. The Alchemist by Witchcraft. Interesting. That is a cool choice, actually. That's from their first album, right? Witchcraft, take one. That's some shit I was listening to 20 years ago also. I'm trying to get away. My favorite song might be Hacker by Death Grips. Also a really solid choice. My existence is a momentary lapse of reason. Got the DNA of gothic lemons, shredded 13 times out of 11. Your bad ideas at the ATM, shed my skin. Leave it for the homies to sleep in. Prodigal, fuck that. Nautical, teaching bitches how to swim. I'm in your area. I'm in your area. I know the first 3 numbers.
Where am I?
What are these, what do you got here?
Oh, this is Isabel's top 20 favorite movies.
Okay.
She told me to look at it.
The first one is not, in fact, End of Evangelion. It is actually Horseshoe Finale.
That is very much an Endless Just video in the number 1 spot, and I cannot be upset at that because it's peak.
How could you? It is peak. I love that it's on there. The Lion King. I am like the world's number 1 Lion King hater.
Wow.
I do not enjoy the Lion King.
Wow.
At all. Nothing about it appeals to me.
Wow.
You like the Lion King, I'm guessing?
It's good.
It's like YMS's favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
Castration movies in here, that's badass. Perfect Blue, one of my favorite movies as well.
Yeah.
I think I would also put that in my top 5.
Perfect Blue is unfathomably based.
Funny Games I've never seen. I know that's another of YMS's favorite movies, though. Only Yesterday is pretty awesome. You should see this movie.
I've been wanting to watch that for a long time. It's because I have like a million friends who say like, I want to do like a Ghibli movie marathon. Like they ideate that all the time, and no one fucking commits to anything.
Well, and what they really mean is they want to watch all the Miyazaki films. Most of them don't even realize there's like another guy who is like his mentor who made awesome movies. But Only Yesterday, my take on that movie is it exists to try to convince autistic people to become farmers. Like, the point of the movie is like you think that farming is being in nature, but nothing about it is actually natural. It's like you're building a world, you know, and like the film is meant to kind of teach you that.
You know, I have watched a few Takahata movies, and I haven't loved any of them as much as I love Miyazaki's movies. So I think it's
Takahata doesn't make lovable movies, but that's also because he did that so before Ghibli, they were both working for Toei, and Takahata directed like 8 or 9 like masterpiece like early animation films for Toei, and those are way more accessible like crowd pleaser movies. After they formed Ghibli, I think he was like, I'm gonna do nothing but art now, and meanwhile Miyazaki made all the crowd pleaser like big satisfying movies.
That makes sense.
But Miyazaki started off as just like the unit director on Takahata's films, so like he entirely came up under him. But like I think Horus, Prince of the Sun was Takahata's first directing film and Miyazaki's first like film that he worked on at all, basically.
Oh, there we go. She's also got Fellowship of the Ring on here, which I agree with. I love that movie. Kill Bill Volume 1, also based.
Kill Bill.
Love that one.
I prefer to think of Kill Bill as just one movie. Like, to me, breaking it into either half, it loses too much impact to be like...
I definitely prefer the first half, but they're both great.
American Psycho. Talk that shit to American Psycho. You lose 20 pounds from the chainsaw lipo. Fuck it. Didn't want to have to cut it. What a right for a freak power bitch. Suck it. Got Hunter Ridge playing Hunter Rest while unsponsored. Yes, these are my lyrics, by the way.
American Psycho is a good example of a movie that I appreciate it a lot, and I love a lot of things about it, but it's not really relatable to me personally in any way. I could understand it being someone else's
I've never
favorite
actually
movie.
seen the whole movie.
Really?
I'm realizing I've only ever caught it from like halfway on TV.
Huh.
Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, which I have been heavily recommended by Isabel to check out.
Of course.
She
one
said
battle
you
after
could watch
another.
that before the show and it would still make sense. So might do that if I don't find myself with time to watch the show before the movie's out of theaters. Apparently Anthony Fantano's in it. He was also in my dreams last night. I think we already talked about that though.
Yeah.
One battle after another. Interesting. So you really liked that. I know you really liked that movie too.
Yeah.
I have heard mostly negative criticism of that movie, but
That's interesting.
all of it is because of the portrayal of black revolutionaries and being like, you know, like just black people who are current tense revolutionaries being upset with the way it portrays them.
Yeah. I'm neither black nor revolutionary, so I watched the movie with a different lens, and I enjoyed it a shit ton. So, I don't know. I've heard, like, overwhelmingly positive things about it. It's
just a matter of which YouTubers you follow.
for real.
Well, even because, okay, so Toure loves the movie, who's like a journalist slash like interviewer who he's been like very insistent that he thought the portrayal was like he sees it more as like it's just a really interesting good movie about these really interesting good characters. And so I've heard him debate with other people about it, but I feel like I can't imagine myself enjoying it. Is the only reason I haven't seen it. Like, I'm sure it is probably actually a good movie, but I just can't imagine myself enjoying it. Next up, Black Swan, which is great. It's basically Perfect Blue, but in live action, by the world's biggest Perfect Blue fan, Darren Aronofsky. Red, I don't know. Mulholland Drive, I haven't seen, but I am interested in it. Brazil, I haven't seen, but I am interested in it. Inland Empire, I don't know anything about.
It's Rosemary's Baby.
Rosemary's Baby, I've never seen. I've heard of it. Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me looks way too terrifying for me. Like, that's a movie that when Red Letter Media talked about it, and they just, like, showed, you know, little clips from it, and every single one of those clips was, like, haunting. Like, some shit that I can still remember just from seeing the clips, you know? And I'm like, that's a bit much. Bambi. What are you, Tezuka? You got Bambi in your top 20? That man saw that movie
That's wild.
so many times.
And then The Lighthouse is the last one.
I have not seen The Lighthouse. I want to. One of my favorite memes in the world, which I introduced Crona to last night, is Willem Dafoe going, Fortnite?
Fortnite!
That shit makes me fucking crack up every time I see it.
It's the way he goes from just dead serious to cackling like a madman. He's just, Fortnite! It's like the whistle laugh. I have seen Rosemary's Baby, and I didn't like it at all. And I've also seen Bambi, and I thought it was fine. But The Lighthouse is great.
I realized I hit love on these comments but didn't actually read them. Gary always said, Sailor Moon Abridged made me gayer, boots hunty. Alright, maybe we gotta watch it.
Yep.
I'm always down to get even gayer. And Alf Rules 1 says, talking about Horseshoe Finale, do you know why Jesse got bored of making videos? I guess it was inevitable. No, as Isabel has pointed out, he still makes videos. He just makes them for his patrons, and he has been consistently the whole time. Literally almost every stream I do, somebody asks me what happened to Jesse, and every single time I'm like, for $5, you can get access to like hundreds of videos that he has made, because he's never stopped. He's always making Patreon content.
What didn't you like about Rosemary's Baby? I mean, I don't know. It just didn't vibe with me. It wasn't really anything particular. I just watched it and I'm like, it wasn't that interesting or entertaining to me.
Rosemary, heaven restores you in life. You ever heard that song?
No.
Evil by Interpol. It took a lifespan with no cellmate and a long way. I actually hated that song when it came out, and then I fell in love with it over time.
I would compare Rosemary's Baby to something like every Kubrick movie I've seen. I just do not gel with that style at all.
Interesting.
I don't know what it is. It just makes me sleepy.
Kubrick movies were always like when I was growing up, anytime I would see one, it was never on purpose. It was always like catching it on TV, and it always left a huge impact on me. So like I considered them all like great classic movies, but as an adult, I'm like, I don't want to fucking watch that. It's gonna make me feel like shit. Like, I really want to see Doctor Strangelove though. I've heard that is like the greatest movie ever, and it's mostly funny.
Yeah, my favorite Kubrick I've seen is The Shining, and even that one I'd give like a 7 out of 10. Like I'm like I like that. Yeah, it was good.
I mean, I would definitely give it a 10 on the intellectual level. On a do I want to watch it level, it's like, but at the same time, the whole thing is in my head pretty much. Like I remember it. The all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. That alone is like a 10 out of 10 for that movie.
Yeah, that's what I think about when I think what did I actually like about it. It's that scene is the typewriter. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that was a good movie.
That's the part that probably both of us relate to the most, is getting too obsessed, getting way too into it, and then
losing fucking mind
totally
over this one
unraveling.
project. Also, the bathtub scene is terrifying. It's one of the scariest things I've seen in a movie.
We're somehow singing Interpol again. I know it keeps happening. Well, okay, in real life, every single time someone says the word rosemary to me, I go, Rosemary. Which I had never used rosemary in cooking until meeting Bird, but he uses it like, he uses it on steak all the time. So anytime he's like, grab the rosemary, I'm rosemary.
Gonna have to listen to Hedgehog Stew again.
That song's amazing.
I'm gonna make some hedgehog stew.
Yeah, Clockwork Orange is amazing, but it is fucked up. But it's more, I don't think A Clockwork Orange will make you feel as bad as the other movies, because it's like the first half is watching a guy do like the worst things he could possibly do, and then the second half is watching him like get complete comeuppance for that, and it's somewhat satisfying. Like I don't think I can say that you feel bad for him in the end, because you know what he did in the first half, and you're like, hey, you kind of deserve all this,
Yeah.
But Kubrick movies have a tendency to, like, the first half and second half are like wildly different experiences. Like Clockwork Orange and Full Metal Jacket, both of them are like the first half and the second half are practically two different movies, and it's usually the first half is like more like edgy, crazy stuff going on, and then the second half is just sad, depressing. Strangelove is the best comedy that's serious, kind of like Shin Godzilla. That's exactly what I want out of it.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, rest in peace, Shelley Duvall. I also feel like without Kubrick, you couldn't have Hideaki Anno, because like I don't know that Anno is a Kubrick fan, other than that the way he frames images is very similar. And like I've never seen all of 2001: A Space Odyssey, but I saw the very ending of it once, and I was like, this is End of Evangelion. Like this is the only thing I've ever seen that visually reminded me of End of Eva. Of like every shot just feels like it's got the whole universe inside of it, you know.
Like Isabel's saying, please recommend me great movies that will make me feel like shit.
I can recommend you some that I haven't seen, but apparently the movie Come and See is like the most fucked war movie. I mean, Full Metal Jacket you should also check out, but like Oof. Come and See is supposed to be really rough. Salo, 120 Days of Sodom. I know multiple people who consider that the greatest movie of all time, and it's just about like a group of libertine sociopaths just like putting people through the most humiliation that they possibly can, and like the whole thing looks gorgeous and it's just miserable. I've always been afraid to watch it.
I saw the TV Glow's a good one.
That's another one that like I don't want to watch because it looks like it doesn't feel good, you know?
I really loved that movie. It didn't like wreck me the way I thought it would, but it did make me cry. When I think of like a movie that makes me feel like shit, I think of like deeply uncomfortable like horror movies, like Martyrs or The Substance really fucked me up for a few weeks.
Bad,
yeah. It made me like more paranoid. I don't do well with body horror, but you know. Fuck, what else?
So she's seen Salo. Again, this is the type of movie I avoid, so I might be like the worst person to ask, but like if you look at almost any list of the greatest movies, most of them are just like bad vibes, you know, like movies. tension stuff.
I mean, Martyrs is literally about like torture. So
you've probably seen a lot more disturbing movies than I have, also.
well, I like horror. You know, I like a variety of horror. I'm not just into like blood and guts and stuff. Sometimes I like scary movies that are genuinely scary. I like scary movies that are stupid and funny and weird. I mean, really, I just like the variety. I like how weird they can get. I feel like most genres of movie don't get into the kinds of territory that horror usually gets into. Evil Dead 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's the best horror comedy. I love the shit out of it. Sweeney Todd. I was told to watch Sweeney Todd by an employee at my local gamer store. I haven't gotten around to watching it yet, but that's definitely on the list. Instead, I ended up watching Big Fish because my partner loves Big Fish. It's a pretty good movie. I'm not really like a huge fan of Tim Burton though. It's like Burton has made good stuff, but like most of it's kind of slop. Haven't watched Evil Dead since I was 12. I was obsessed with it. Yeah. Serbian film was one of my favorite movies when I was like 10. What the fuck? Rewatched it recently and was disappointed. That's wild. I mean, I've seen bad movies that make me feel like shit. It's easy to find bad movies that make me feel like shit. Like The Human Centipede. I tried watching the Human Centipede trilogy back when that was a meme. You know, like those were like going around. It's like oh, ew, gross out movie. Human Centipede 2 is just legitimately heinous and not worth watching for anybody. Isabel said Evil Dead 1 is great. Evil Dead 2 is also great. Army of Darkness is amazing.
I remembered another fucked up movie that fucked with me. Hereditary.
Oh yeah,
that was
one.
A tough one.
Hereditary and Midsommar both do this thing where they just grip you by your heartstrings and yank you down into like, here's like a really raw, realistic portrayal of someone who just had the worst thing ever happen to them personally.
Yeah.
And it just makes you feel the grief more than the fear of what is happening.
I want to see Midsommar even though I'm terrified of it just because I love Florence Pugh. Hereditary was a miserable experience. It was just like, it felt like rotting. Like it felt like having your soul rot from the inside out. The ending is badass though.
Yeah. I loved Hereditary and I loved Midsommar as well, but just a little bit less.
Yeah, Midsommar is there was a time that me and my friends were going to watch it, I think on acid, and then we only got like 5 minutes in, and even those 5 minutes like really stuck in my head because it's just like Florence crying, like just like looking really miserable. Hateful Eight, watching the Hateful Eight on acid with people I had just met and didn't totally trust yet was fucking terrifying. It's like 4 hours of tension and just people being bad to each other, like. So yeah, again, I don't generally like bad vibes movies. Like I can appreciate them, but I'm like, I never want to experience that again. Usually.
I wanted to say I did have an interesting experience with the Evil Dead movies one time. My friends and I went to a drive-in movie theater to see like a marathon of all three of them that lasted till like 3 a.m, and it was cool because Bruce Campbell showed up there in person to do like a Q&A thing, and he also did photos, but it was like right after COVID, so it was like 6 feet apart from the people.
You have no interest in Django and Glorious Bastards or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Those are all good movies. I would recommend.
I like all of those, yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood didn't stick with me as much because it's more like a chilled out vibes movie. Like it's not very plot forward. Yeah. It's kind of like just hang out with like it's fan fiction. It's literally like a fan fiction about Hollywood in the 70s, and in which it's
funny, but like I don't know.
Because like
I don't remember that much about it.
All 3 of those movies are basically about subverting a historical evil. It's like, what if Hitler had just gotten killed by like some Jewish guys who like burned down the theater before they could make things any worse. Or like what if what's her name, Roman Polanski's wife never got murdered? What if an enslaved person was able to like become a cowboy and just murder a bunch of fucking slave owners and stuff? So like they're all very much revenge fantasies about like parts of history that I think Tarantino like personally can't deal with, like stuff that like haunts him. So he's like, how do I get a cultural vengeance for this type
They're all
thing?
very like cathartic, fun movies. I don't know if I'd call any of them like a great movie, but like I think Inglourious Bastards is a bit better than
I've
the other
seen
two.
Inglourious Bastards a number of times because
Yeah.
that was like my big cousin's favorite movie, and
It's pretty fun.
it's got really fun dialogue tension scenes. And I don't know. It's very memorable. It's got a great use of a David Bowie song in it.
I would say Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has the most like lethargic pace to it, where there's a lot of long scenes of me just waiting for the movie to pick up again. Like, okay, let's go. And then Django Unchained, I forgot most of the movie except for the most disturbing parts and the parts where Django just absolutely punishes the shit out of a slave owner by whipping him. This is the funniest part.
Whenever I think about Django, I think about Jamie Foxx told the story of how like when he showed up on set, he was like all movie star, and then Quentin Tarantino took him aside and went, "You're a fucking slave. You can't be acting cool. You're supposed to be fucking slave." It's just like the fucking balls on this guy
Oh my god.
to just fucking do that.
Quentin Tarantino is kind of a little freak.
He's
isn't he?
a fucking asshole, man. He's a total fucking asshole.
He's a little weirdo.
He's very autistic.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the N-word. Yeah, Israel has a right to defend itself. Quentin Tarantino.
Fucking little motherfucker.
Did he say that about Israel? Is he pro-Israel?
I believe so.
I mean, I guess you have to be in Hollywood. Like, you can't get away with... You can't get a $200 million budget if you're anti-Israel. Fucking love Israel. That's a quote from somebody who's been banned from the internet many times.
That Brandon Rogers video you showed me where they're like in couples therapy. It's like, so where'd you two meet? Israel, no, Palestine. And he's like, I'm not touching that one.
It's actually funny how much that conversation has changed, because it really was like nobody wanted to touch it, and then in the last 5 years it's like now being pro-Palestine is like just basic like leftism,
Which is a good thing.
Yeah. I think most people just didn't know what was going on, but like at this point it's pretty evident it's just like a genocide. Israel is just genociding Gaza. They're not going to stop. They're just going to kill them all. Like,
it's all over the TikTok. It's pretty evident what's going on. I watched that Dragon Ball event live on YouTube where they made all the big announcements, and I was looking at the live chat, and it was like people spamming Free Palestine in there a lot. Good. That's how mainstream it is. It's just showing up in places where it has nothing to do with anything. So it's interesting.
I don't know who Matt Lilliard is.
Matt Lillard's that's Shaggy.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Shaggy Scooby-Doo, man.
Amazing. I have not seen There Will Be Blood.
Yeah, Tarantino recently went on a tirade, like he was just shit-talking a bunch of different celebrities. So he's been a lot of hot water with the press recently. I don't know why he'd do that.
He's just an asshole. He can't help himself. Asshole's got an ass. He was in Scream as well. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
I just forget that was him. I just strongly believe him to be Shaggy. He's just Shaggy in my brain.
Never heard of SLC Punk. We've gone deep down a movies rabbit hole this stream.
I like movies. I don't know shit about music, but I like
you
movies.
are much more of a movies than I am, for sure. Incidentally, if you love movies, go watch Vic and Hope. They are They are this year watching a movie for every day. Not necessarily a movie every day, but a movie for every day.
They're watching 365 movies this year.
Yes.
That is their goal.
And they did like a 6-hour podcast about the first month worth of movies, and it's very entertaining.
It's hilarious. I love listening to that.
I gotta watch SLC Punk. What is it? What's it about? SLC Punk. Oh, I like the face on this guy. 1998 comedy drama.
All right, we can watch this after Freddy got fingered.
College graduate punk living in Salt Lake City in the mid-1980s. Sure, Salt Lake City is an interesting setting. I can't think of a movie set in Salt Lake City that I know of. I wonder how convincing it is, though. Like, is it actually Salt Lake City, or is it LA pretending to be, or fucking Toronto pretending to be Salt Lake City? I'll know right away, because Salt Lake City is a very unique place, having been there. It's super flat and spread out. Like, there's not a lot of tall buildings, but it's very dense with small buildings going on forever in all directions. Why didn't you see it? I don't know. Probably because YouTube sucks. I never trust YouTube to show anyone anything unless they are actively searching for it. But yeah, it's like Victor's playing Elden Ring and they're reviewing movies. I think it takes them like half an hour to actually start reviewing movies, and then, but it's very entertaining.
Yeah, that stuff's funny too. I like the banter.
Yes, their banter is crazy.
They're fucking goofballs. That's always surreal to me. I've only met Victor twice, but both times it's like he's exactly the same in person as he is when I hear him on the YouTube.
I'm about to go look at what movies have I watched recently, because I'm like struggling to remember. I don't feel like I've seen any old movies recently. Oh, I have, because I was marathoning Wachowski's films, the Wachowski sisters. And their first movie, Bound, is really good. It's a lesbian movie. It's like a lesbian crime thriller, but like the undertone of it, like a lot of the dialogue is like, oh, only a trans lesbian would have written this movie. Like, if you have any doubts about, like, because there's people who I think are under the mistaken impression that like trans people aren't like just trans their whole lives.
Yeah.
Like you transition at some point. But it's not like you magically become all of a sudden everything you do is trans now because you transitioned. It's like, no, you were always harboring those feelings. And like, if you go watch Bound, like the first line of dialogue is like, hold on, I have it written down somewhere where I was like, oh, okay, this is a trans woman's movie, like immediately. Shit, it's not on this Google Drive. I have too many fucking Google Drives. I'm like, which one would it be on? Fuck. Here we go. Bound 1996 notes. I had this image of you inside me like a part of me. That's the first line of the film. I was like, oh, yeah, me too. I remember having an image of me inside of me like a part of me. And then there's the movie starts with a woman literally tied up in the closet and saying she wants out. It's like, bruh, like, this is not even a metaphor at this point. It's just like text. But yeah, the first movie is a lesbian crime thriller called Bound, and then they did The Matrix, and I think that The Matrix 1 is way overrated. Mm-hmm. And I think The Matrix 2 and 3 suck. I loved them all as a kid. They are not good movies, in my opinion. Well-made movies, not good movies. But then they made Speed Racer, which is like my favorite movie of all time.
I love Speed Racer.
And then Cloud Atlas is fucking madness, and it is literally more than I could process. Like in one, like it's a 3-hour movie that is actually 6 movies constantly interrupting one another, and it's amazing. I highly recommend everyone watch Cloud Atlas because there's not another film anything like it. If you've not seen Cloud Atlas, please watch it. It will definitely break your mind. It is like, I had to like stop halfway through and go to bed. Like, I had to pick it up the next day. It was just too much for me to process. And even then, I had to watch videos about it afterwards to, like, really understand what the fuck I had just seen. It is a deeply experimental movie. She speaks the true. If you've heard me say that, also, that comes from that, because there's one of the cultures in the movie, they say true, like, oh, she speaks the true.
Isabel says, I remember the CG in Speed Racer being embarrassingly bad, but I haven't seen it since I was 10. The movie looks like Spy Kids 3D.
You have to, okay.
It's not an exaggeration.
Well, Spy Kids 3D is also a masterpiece, but I highly recommend watching Patrick H. Willem's video about Speed Racer, because he breaks down the visuals in a lot of depth. But that movie is gorgeous. Like, the CG is bad. That doesn't matter. The movie is exactly what it's supposed to be. It is, because it's a cartoon. It is a cartoon. Like, you have to divorce yourself from the idea that it's trying to look realistic at all. It's a cartoon.
Yeah.
Definitely rewatch Speed Racer. That's one where, like, the first time I saw it, I was like, this is the greatest film I've ever seen. The second time I saw it a year later, I was like, this is still the greatest film I've ever seen. And then, like, a decade passed, and I was like, I'm really suspecting I'm not going to like Speed Racer as much as I used to, because it's kind of straight, you know? It's, like, not that gay.
Yeah.
It's still a masterpiece. Still my favorite movie. It's the only movie full of straight white people that I could ever imagine enjoying as much as I do. But yeah, Speed Racer fucking rules. But in terms of Isabel's taste, I think you would enjoy Speed Racer, but you need to see Cloud Atlas. Cloud Atlas is also very, like, it's fucked up and disturbing in a lot of ways. It had a lot of moments that legitimately shocked me, where I was like, oh, that's what this movie is. And then, like, again, oh my god, that's what this movie is? Like, it's crazy. It is a very different experience. And then I haven't gotten around to their next one yet, because I was so stuck. Like, I was trying to watch all their movies and take notes to make a big analysis thing, and I think I have like 30 pages of notes about, you know, everything. They didn't direct V for Vendetta, they like wrote it, and that movie's kind of I wouldn't really recommend it. But Cloud Atlas, everyone should see, and I haven't seen Jupiter Ascending yet, which, like, was kind of critically not that well liked, so I'm not sure if I should expect it to be good or whatever, you know. I think Mila Kunis is the main character. But I think it's like Mila Kunis and Channing Tatum, and it's like a sci-fi romance. But Cloud Atlas is like an absolute must-see. It will change your perspective on what a movie is capable of being. Like, it's on that level of, like, nothing else is similar to it. So, yeah, you gotta see that. And yes, shout out Lily Wachowski for executive producing Castration movie. That is why I decided to do this, actually. Like, because I hadn't heard anything from, like, about them doing anything for a while. And then, like, particularly Lily had, like, taken herself out of the public spotlight, and Lana was kind of the only one, like, really, because, like, Lana directed Matrix Resurrections by herself, and I think they both worked on Sense8, and that was, like, the last thing they did, which I haven't seen that yet. From what I hear, that's also, like, kind of a trippy, like, experimental, interesting show. But it got canned after, like, 2 seasons or something. It was a Netflix thing. But then Lily came back and started producing, like, movies by edgy trans people, and I was like, finally, yes, like, let's go. She's doing the trans thing. Like, let's do it. And that inspired me to go start, like, studying their films. But again, Cloud Atlas was just so fucking dense. I was like, I'm gonna have to watch this 5 times before I can, like, confidently talk about it, like, as though I knew what's in it, you know. Do I have any tips for traveling the States solo? Yes. Stay away from small towns unless you've done your research on them. Stay away from the inner city unless you know somebody there who you can stay with. Sleep at rest areas because they're generally safe, unless you're in, like, Nevada or something where a rest area is like a fucking vault toilet and that's it. And if you're not at a rest area, campgrounds. Like, learning about campgrounds revolutionized my whole perspective on travel, because I used to think, like, well, if you're traveling, you have to stay in hotels. If you don't care about a bed because you have a tent, it's only $20 to camp at most campgrounds, and wherever you are, there's probably a campground somewhere nearby. So like a big part of how Bert and I were able to do so much traveling was just, paying for a $20 campgrounds at whatever state we happened to be stopping in for the night, or just sleeping in the car at a rest area. But yeah, like, I guess my main tip is, like, hotels are expensive. So if you have to do hotels because you don't feel comfortable otherwise, I wouldn't even recommend it. Like, rugged travel is the only real travel for me. I don't want no cushy shit. You used to be like a trucker. Did you ever truck like cross country or anything like that?
Nah, I always stayed regional for the most part. I liked to get home at a reasonable time and, get to enjoy my life outside of work. But there were a few times where, because there are like regulations. If you drive for a certain amount of time, like if you drive for 8 hours in one day, you would be legally required to take a 30-minute break before you get back on the road. So sometimes I would drive for like 7.5 hours, and then when I get to my destination, park the truck and go walk around in the woods near the fucking place where I just delivered to. And, it was just cool to take little hikes and stuff while I was on my break. And, yeah, it was cool.
I should mention also, because Nazca Lover said, you should all consider watching Celine and Julie go boating over 3-hour lesbian shaggy dog movie. Sounds cool, but, like, I need to emphasize, I try to avoid long movies. Like, my attention span is not that long. So that's, like, Cloud Atlas, like I said, I had to pause it and go to bed and pick it back up. It's a 3-hour movie that feels 6 hours long. But, like, I haven't even seen Seven Samurai because it's, like, over 3 hours. And I'm like, when am I ever going to want to sit down for 3 hours, Like, it took me forever to watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah, that one took me a few attempts, but once I finally got over the hump, I've now seen it like a dozen times. Lord of the Rings is fun.
Even, like, if you go to my anime list, for instance, and you see it's like, oh, wow, you've seen 2,000 anime, and it's like, if you actually go into the completed list, hundreds of those are music videos, hundreds of those are one-episode OVAs, like, I will always pick something short over something long. And that's why I mostly watch YouTube videos, because they're usually, or if they are super long, they're usually something you can passively not have to pay that much attention to, and you can do other stuff at the same time. With movies, I have to give my whole attention to the movie, or else I will not know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, if my mind starts wandering, I will totally lose track of the plot. And I'm a lot better now, because, like, my dissociation has been so much less extreme since transition. Like, pre-transition, I could not watch 5 episodes of a show without my mind just going off in a different direction, And so, like, a lot of the times, like, what shows I would choose to analyze is, like, it had to be something that consistently held my attention enough for me to actually follow the plot. And nowadays, I have gotten way better at just being patient with it and, like, actively trying to pay attention to the plot, like deciding that's a thing I'm doing, like, okay, I need to know what happens in this, so I'm gonna give it my full attention. But even being capable of that is kind of new for me, so I still get scared with, like, really long stuff, because I always feel like an ego death if I get if I get too involved in a movie, then it feels like I become the movie, and then it's like all I can think about afterwards. And, like, I think for a lot of people that's the appeal of movies, is like, oh, I want this to, like, consume my thinking. I do not want that. I don't want to be trapped in the movie for 3 days, like, I want to go back to what I was doing afterwards. So that's why I tend to favor music and YouTube videos and stuff where I can do another thing at the same time.
I really enjoy the catharsis of having watched a thing so that I can talk about it to people. And that's why I used to be able to binge anime pretty quickly. Like, I would just plow through a whole show in, like, a week, and then on the weekend meet up with my friends and be like, I watched this thing, and tell them what was interesting about it. And then if they thought it was cool, they would watch it too. Sonic the Hedgehog OVA with Metal Sonic is my fave.
That shit rules. That shit does rule. I haven't seen that in like 20 years, but I watched it so many times as a kid that I can still remember it.
We're gonna watch it.
I know we were supposed to. We were gonna make a group watch for the server at some point.
Yeah.
Because you kept saying
forgot.
like we gotta watch the Sonic movies, and I was like, I only want to see the OVA again. I need the chili dogs. I need Metal Sonic.
You want to see the Sonic 3 movie with
I
Keanu?
do. I
Keanu
need to see the
Chungus.
Keanu. I need to see Keanu Shadow.
Keanu Chungus playing Shadow Hedgehog in movie.
I enjoyed Sonic 2 enough. It was a wacky time. All the human stuff was stupid, but
I thought it was funny.
the Sonic stuff was cool.
It's like the human stuff is stupid, but it was like stupid in a way that like everyone could enjoy. I thought it was like, oh, this like they put the live
Not
action
me.
stuff in here for the parents, you know.
No,
But, like,
I thought all the actors were just corny and like I was like, who are these fucking people? I don't care. Show me Sonic. Like, what's going on?
I really like the part where that lady's wedding is revealed to be a hoax because they're all government agents waiting to like capture Sonic, and then she's like, oh, even the priest, and he opens his Bible and there's a gun inside.
That's right. I do
It's
remember
good
that.
shit.
I
But yeah.
mostly remember the part where like the portal opens up and they come through, like I think they like crash onto the cake or whatever,
Yep.
like through the portal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the scene. The Sonic OVA I actually grew up with. I had a VHS tape of it as a kid,
Same.
and it was white. It was a white VHS tape. I would love to have another copy of that movie because it was excellent.
Honestly bet that either my mom or Victor has that VHS somewhere.
Oh man,
Because fucking like 1999 was like the first year that cars started having TVs in them. And so like we had a van with a fucking built-in VHS player to like I remember specifically watching that OVA and like Pokemon VHS tapes in the van, like nostalgia, true nostalgia.
yes, I still hoard VHS tapes, so I would definitely want to hoard the Sonic tape. It was weird being like being a kid who was into Sonic, and there were so many different versions of Sonic out at the same time. They're like different cartoons running alongside each other with different tones, and like Sonic in the game, and then every video game like totally reinvented his character design and the tone, and they brought like 50 new characters in. By the time Sonic Heroes came out, I had no idea what the fuck was happening anymore.
Yeah, I only saw the first. They're talking about the Transformers movies having that same issue of like I didn't care about the human parts, and like I saw
haven't
the
seen
first
any of
one.
those.
Oh, really? That's
Never.
surprising. I saw the first one in theaters when it came out because I had been a like Transformers geek on some level, so I was like excited about it. And then like when I saw it,
That scared the shit out of me.
I remember like walking out of the theater being like, that was awesome, and then like thinking about it through the rest of the day and being like, that made no fucking sense. Like there are characters who literally just disappear from that movie, like a couple of the robots, talking about Transformers, the live action movie, and how like
They can form now?
They form now.
oh, they form now. Holy shit. I don't know if they heard that on stream, but I said Transformers to Shane, and Shane said, they form now? I fucking died. Holy shit. Oh, yeah, like, there's, like, during the big final action scene in that movie, there's, like, a character who's fighting someone in one shot, and then they just never show them again in the rest of the movie. Like, you don't see them die, you don't see what happens, they just disappear from the movie, and, like, it was one of those, you know what they call like a fridge light moment, where like you come downstairs at 2 a.m. and you open the fridge and you see the light and you realize that the movie you watched earlier doesn't make any fucking sense. That was me with Transformers 1 coming out of the. Also, we saw it in the front row of a packed theater, so it was like looking up like this and just mayhem, you know.
That sounds awful. I'm glad I haven't seen any of those movies.
There's
I
a
always
part
thought
where
they
one of
looked
the
like a waste
robots
of time.
pisses on a government worker, and it is.
Are you talking about the Michael Bay ones?
Yes, the Michael Bay
Oh, you
Transformers.
said Transformers 1 just now.
Oh, yeah, I forgot there's a movie called Transformers 1, which is actually great.
Oh.
I enjoyed that one a lot. I saw that in theaters and really liked it.
Just like the Xbox One.
Yeah.
I actually would recommend to you Transformers 1. because
I heard good things
it's
about
cool.
that when it came out, and just saying like, oh, it's underperforming at the theater, and I was like, oh, maybe I should see that to like, boost its numbers. And I was like, I don't care about Transformers. And
It basically portrays like the idea, like it's it's supposed to be the beginning of the timeline, and it's like Optimus is just like a reckless, like like a foolhardy guy who wants to do good, but he's like too much, and Megatron's his like, nah man, you gotta chill, like we're gonna get in trouble, like kind of friend, and so like they have like this epic bromance. Like the whole movie is about them being like BFFs who, as they learn the truth of their society and realize that like the primes were actually not good people and stuff, and then Megatron basically breaks bad at the end, and it's like it's kind of like a really tragic movie because it's about watching these two friends, and the way the movie ends is they're not friends anymore, and they're going to be at war forever now.
one becomes a revolutionary and the other becomes a cop.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know shit about Transformers. You tell me like, yeah, so Optimus, I'm like, the truck.
Yes, exactly.
That's all.
Optimus is the main guy.
The extent.
The gun.
Yeah. I know Bumblebee is the yellow guy.
I do think they put him into Transformers 1 too, because like Bumblebee was invented by the Bayformers movies. Like he was not an original Transformer character.
Wait, say that again?
Bumblebee came into existence from the Bayformers movies.
What the fuck?
Beetle before the Bayfarmers. He
A
was like
beetle?
Transformer. I thought he
What?
was.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't remember. He definitely wasn't in the original 80s movie, which also is amazing.
Yellow beetle that I'm thinking of. That is Bumblebee.
He was a beetle? Oh, well, shit. I don't remember him being in the original movie, though.
I don't think he was. Or he might have been
Okay.
hanging out with his dad on the plane
Oh,
ship or something.
okay.
That was like his only
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Because the main character in that was Hot Rod, and, like, Optimus dies, and Hot Rod becomes the new leader in the original 80s movie, which looks amazing. The 80s Transformers film is, like, one of the most gorgeously, lavishly animated films. The plot is kind of, whatever, but it's very nice to look at and has some fun music. I don't think she's up there, but she could be. Anyway,
Cat. Hiding
Transformers 1 is
cat.
basically a movie about Megatron and why he was kind of right. I guess. I mean, he's right up until the end when he becomes a fascist. And then you're like, no, Megatron, why? Big Bird is the yellow guy, said Isabel. She's been on a major Sesame Street kick, which
Yeah.
almost makes me want to go watch some Sesame Street. Just hearing her talk about it, I'm like, damn, I could go for some Sesame Street. That was like my first show.
I don't know much about Sesame Street, but I have met Kermit.
Oh, nice.
Kermit and Miss Piggy. I saw them in person. That was interesting.
Kermit is not from Sesame Street. He's from Muppets.
Yeah.
But they are made by the same guy. I think.
They're related.
I've been
They're
to
all
the
family.
Kermit Museum.
The Kermit Museum.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sure there's many Kermit puppets, but I have seen one of the Kermits in person before. They keep them right next to C-3PO and R2-D2.
Kermit is from Sesame Street. I mean, I know he's in Sesame Street, but is he from Sesame Street? Miss Piggy is not.
Yeah, so Kermit and...
Oh, you have no idea. Okay, well, I knew he's in it. I just didn't think he was from it. But
yeah.
the guy who created it, Jim, his last name is out of my brain for some reason.
Was it
Isabel, remind me the name of.
Henson? Is it Jim Henson, or am I thinking of
That
someone else?
sounds right. I think it was Jim Henson. I think you're right. Right? He originated in the coffee commercials in Sam and Friends. Oh, okay. Isabel's definitely gone down the rabbit hole. But yeah, so Jim Henson was born in like a small town in Mississippi. And one night when Bird and I were driving through Mississippi for work, we literally are just like on the road and we see a sign that's like Jim Henson Kermit Museum. And I was like, well, we got to stop there. And like, it wasn't open, but it's like, it's on like a dock, like it's above water. So, so we just like walked around, checked it out. Actually, the footage of that is in the music video for the song "The Most" from my Rogue Alien Pet album. There's like, I think that whole video is just me and Bird like encircling the Kermit Museum, and there's like a part where he stands next to like a life-size Kermit like standee, and I just kind of put the camera to the glass so I can see what's inside, and it's like a tiny little building.
Jim Henson also did The Dark Crystal. I tried watching that one time with my friend, but we had it on like a VHS tape, and it was like a worn out tape, and the movie was farting nonstop all the time, so we could barely understand what anyone was saying, and it was really boring.
I hated that movie. He also did The Dinosaurs Show, the 90s sitcom about
I like that show. That show was
dinosaur
cute.
puppets. Yeah.
It was kind of funny.
Absolutely a genius. He's one of those like guys who, when he died, like his whole methodology basically evaporated with him. It's like, this was the puppet guy. Now that he's gone, there's only echoes of it left. Similar to like Ray Harryhausen was like the miniatures guy, and like without him, miniatures just aren't like the same.
I fucking love Clash of the Titans. I wish there were still movies that looked like that. Closest thing I've seen to that is like Phil Tippett's Mad God, which is just pure nightmare the whole fucking time. But yeah, if I had to pick a favorite Muppet, I guess I'd say Yoda. Jim Henson's not the Yoda guy, but
I guess he is kind of a Muppet, isn't he?
Frank Oz is the Yoda guy.
Yeah, I had a video about this called I think it was Push Meme to the Edge, All My Faves Are Dead. I think it's that video where I talk about like the idea that certain like whole styles just are gone when someone... Satoshi Kon is the one I always bring up as like, nothing has ever felt like a Satoshi Kon movie since he died. It's like he made 4 movies, they're all similar enough that you're like, oh yeah, that's Satoshi Kon, and then nothing else is like it ever. To the extent that they could not finish his last movie because they couldn't find a director who could comprehend how to do it. Like, nobody could replace him. Masao Maruyama, the president of Madhouse, spent like a decade trying to complete that movie, The Dreaming Machine, and could not. He couldn't find anybody who could do it. I wish Satoshi Kon was here.
It's so weird that Jason and the Argonauts just ends with what feels like obvious sequel bait but never got a sequel. That seemed to happen a lot with old movies. Shit's funny. The old Mario movie that ended with sequel bait. Shit's hilarious.
So Osamu Tezuka died in 1989. I was born in 1991. Is it possible that I am the reincarnation of Osamu Tezuka? What do you think?
Yes.
Chat, what do you think?
Draw a comic right now and we'll rate it on how autistic it is compared to Astro Boy.
Hey Trixie, did you watch the Asterisk Wars? I mean...
Did you?
I mean, yeah. I made a whole video about it.
Are you sure?
This is a strangely framed question, I real like.
Did
you wouldn't be
it?
asking this if you didn't know I had watched it, right? Like, the only association anyone has with that show is that I made a video about it, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? The Asterisk War Sucks video I made. It's like 4 hours long. It's like my most popular video of all time.
You mean the one that I watched 13 times? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I thought so.
That's such a fun.
I never watched season 2 of the Asterisk War.
But did you watch it?
I have seriously considered, just like apropos of nothing, putting out a like Asterisk War season 2 review just because of nostalgia.
Well, we can get to that after we do the My Little Pony review. To watch that entire thing.
I can't even imagine myself actually doing it. Like, I missed my last year was the 15th anniversary of the show starting, and like I kept telling people all year, like, we gotta do a My Little Pony marathon leading up to the 15-year anniversary, and I'll make a big huge video about it. And then like something happened in the summertime where I was just like, I don't care anymore. Like, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna sit through fucking however 150 episodes or whatever it is.
I think it would be funny to do just one video about that show, just so you could bring back your little pony character as a trans woman.
The funny thing is that my pony character was already a trans woman because, on accident, that the artist who drew the character, like, so in the My Little Pony show, like, the genders are very, like the two genders of ponies have different body types. Like, you can always tell a male pony, you can always tell a female pony. But the girl who drew the avatar accidentally incorporated both elements. Like, it has a masculine jaw, but everything else is the femme pony. And like, so yeah, it already is like I wouldn't have to change anything. It's already a trans horse.
There you go.
Someone
asked, "Is Noah Caldwell-Gervais the best video game YouTuber?" Yes, and it's
he's
not
up
even close.
there. He's definitely.
I say yes, and it's not even close.
Well, what about Machimatosis?
Machimatosis, he's kind of chuddy. I don't know.
Interesting.
I mean, I used to think he was the best, but as I've gotten older, I find some of his takes a bit questionable.
I mean, it's been a long time since he actually made an analysis video.
Yeah.
He's made a video game since then.
Yeah. I don't know.
But
not my favorite. But
yeah, Noah Caldwell is really fucking good.
Yeah.
He's one of the only writers on YouTube who actually inspires me. Like, if I listen to his videos, I actually feel like, wow, you might be better at this than I am. Like, only like 5 people have ever made me feel that way, and Noah is up there. I was like,
it's like when I go back to like what are like my favorite videos by Matthew Matosis, and I go back and listen to them again, and I'm like, yeah, there's like a lot more parts of these that are kind of boring and not really that well written. Like, some of his arguments are kind of faulty, and then I go back through a Noah Caldwell-Gervais video, and it's like I could listen back to his like 4-hour Elden Ring video like over and over again nonstop, and every time I'm like, oh my god, that is really clever. Yeah, that does make sense. Like, this is just good shit. Like, he deepens my appreciation for everything he writes about.
Like, the way he writes is great. You know?
Yeah.
He's able to make a point so eloquently and poetically, and that's what I like. Also, the travel stuff, like, hugely influential on me deciding to travel, because he was the first YouTuber I ever saw who was doing the same type of content as I do and decided, like, I'm just gonna hit the road, edit, like, I'll do all of the production work while I'm on the road, and then just like sit at a McDonald's and upload it, you know? And like, when I realized that that's possible, that's when I was like determined, okay, I have to see America, because I can upload from anywhere, you know?
Yeah.
And he has a really great video about him and a friend of his driving like the oldest still standing cross-country highway through the north. And it was funny because watching that video, I loved it. It had tons of information, but it also made me realize that as a traveler, he is a little bit less rugged than I am. And it's not that he's not a rugged traveler. He is. But like, some of the stuff he said, I was like, I actually would have put myself through even more, like, on this trip, you know?
Yeah.
So I'd love to meet up with him sometime. Like, that's the kind of dude who, if I just ran into him on the road, I would be so stoked. I'd be like, no fucking way, Noah's here. Like, I'd have to have a long conversation with him about road trips and travel and everything.
Isabel said that she thinks Video Game Donkey has to be the best video game YouTuber, and I love Donkey.
He's the most entertaining.
Yeah,
definitely.
I love Donkey, but I can't call him the best in my mind because I don't know. Part of what endeared me to Noah Caldwell is that he, for like his few hot takes that he has, they just happen to be the hot takes that I agree with the most. That definitely helped. But in Donkey's case, I never really watched him like to hear his takes on video games. I just always watched him because I thought he was funny, and sometimes his opinions are like, I'm like, oh yeah, that's totally like on point. And then other times I feel like he doesn't really get the game he's talking about, and he's just kind of like, you know, milking it for the comedy. Which is fine,
SNES Drunk is great dude, just all around. Like you said, coziness, agreed. Alf Rules said, hey Trixie, how do you make money? You keep sending it to me, that's how. I have YouTube memberships, if you didn't know, for what is it, like $8 a month or some shit. What does my memberships cost?
Yeah,
I feel like they're
$8.
expensive.
That's like $8 a month. It's
$8 a month, and I have exclusive members only videos that come out. I've got a bunch of them like stashed that I'm gonna start metering out as I decide that they are worthy or relevant. I think the next one's going to be 100% my biggest flaw by far without question. Like, that's the name. It's about how I speak in absolutes too much, and got called out for it in a really embarrassing way. But Professor Sky's video on Donkey is incredible. Wait, what? Professor Sky has a video about Donkey?
Interesting.
What? I have to find that, I guess. I had no idea Professor Sky even like played video games or watched gaming content. That's crazy. Yeah, I do think Donkey's really good. He's really funny, and his editing method is something that kind of is revolutionary to me. And actually, I would recommend you copy this, because what he does is, while he's recording his video, every time something happens, he just stops the recording and restarts it so that it's always at the end of the clip, and so then he can just throw all the clips in, cut right to the end, and
That
he's
makes
got a
so
video.
much sense.
Yeah. Very brilliant way of doing that.
My favorite Donkey video is the Fortnite daycare one. There's just so much good shit condensed in that tiny span of time.
Sky did videos about Donkey and Fantano. Interesting. I know I've seen him talk about Fantano, but I didn't know he talked about Donkey. My favorite Donkey quote has always just been when he talks about Death Mountain in Zelda, and it's just like, you're in the field and you see that mountain and then you can go there, and I was like, yes, that's the total essence of what's so good about this game. And there's a big Goron up there. But yeah, I like Donkey a lot. But Noah Caldwell is like a mentally enriching like experience. He's also like the first truly woke games analyst. Like he is he is so woke that it used to bother me when I wasn't that woke. I was like the one who was like, do you have to always bring up like the feminism in every video? And it's like, yes, you do, like, because it's fucking no one else is going to, you know.
Yeah. He says all the shit no one else would talk about. I think I knew he was my new favorite video game commentator when I watched his Resident Evil video, and he got to Code Veronica and he said this like subplot in the game was aggressively transphobic, and I was like,
yeah,
I hadn't even thought of it that way, but now that you pointed it out, I totally see it. Like, yeah, this motherfucker is on point.
Tripping Goose says, I feel like me and Trixie have very similar strains of autism, but the difference is everybody in my personal life is constantly annoyed by me and I have no friends. Those things are true about me too, but I don't attribute it to autism. I attribute it to dissociation. I don't think I have autism, because autism is like you can't tell what people are feeling, right? Like in...
It's complicated.
Because I very much feel like I catch people's vibes immediately.
Yeah.
Like, I immediately feel like a sense of how someone's feeling, and I try to react based on that, you know? Maybe that's a type of autism in and of itself, like being overly...
Because, like, I'm on the autism spectrum,
noticing.
And, like, I do feel like I'm more attuned to people's, like, moods and stuff than other autistic people, but I think it's more to do with how I was taught to be by, like, my dad, and just generally, like, I think I got bullied into it more than anything. Like, I had to gain these analytical skills of, like, understanding.
Digibro taught me what autism was, so I've operated under the idea that literally everyone is autistic my entire life. And that is, I still do believe that, like, it's all a spectrum, right? Everyone is somewhat... Like, we were talking earlier about DID, that, like, I have it to an extent where I will say, like, yes, I have dissociative identities because there are parts of me that don't remember stuff other parts remember. Like, that is at a level where it's clinically... dissociative identity, but literally everyone has more than one mode. Everyone has more than one face, you know, and like you could talk to like a you know, any sensical therapist will tell you like, yeah, there's a duality to you, you know, there are personas, there's like, so I think that like whatever mental quote unquote illness it is, everyone should be able to relate to it as long as they're not like willing to admit that like they feel some of that. I think most people just, they see it as, oh, nothing's wrong with me, you know. It's like, well, nobody said anything was wrong. They're just saying that you operate certain, you know, in a certain way, and like a lot of the most brilliant people I've ever met are autistic. So like, and like successful, you know, brilliant, successful, beautiful people. Like it doesn't make you a worse person. It just means that you exhibit certain behaviors, you know, and like I used to attribute a lot of my behavior to autism, but I simply did not know about dissociation yet. And once I found out about that, I was like, oh, that's me. It's not, because, you know, I struggle with certain stuff where like a lot of the autistic people I've met, especially in the anime sphere, I tend to characterize it by the actually quality of like hearing something you think is incorrect and feeling an imperative to correct it. Like you feel like, well, no, that's not quite. And like the more specific you have to be, like, because I tend to speak in metaphors a lot, and so like I often am saying something that's literally not true but figuratively is true, and that is super confusing to a lot of autistic people. You know,
I do the same thing, like. Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of the same behaviors, but I am autistic, so I think it's just because autism is a spectrum, and like it does come in so many different flavors.
Yeah,
I'm also almost certainly ADHD, just not diagnosed.
Oh, I've definitely got ADHD.
Yeah,
but that actually was diagnosed by by the guy who died in the plane crash. But my ADHD is nowhere near as intense as like Bird's or my dad's. Like, so, but my dissociation is very intense. Like, I can literally just sit and zone out and not be in this world anymore. You know, like I'm off in my own thing, and like it's taken a lot of practice to maintain presence. You know.
This one here says, I can feel other people's vibes just fine, but the thing is, it's kind of a survival instinct. It's more paranoid and hyper alertness than genuine empathy or social awareness.
Okay.
I feel like I relate to that to some extent. Like, I have learned empathy, but like I had to learn that. Before, it was more what you're talking about, where it's like I'm constantly vigilant of not bothering people because through so much of my childhood, when I was a bother to people, I was like ruthlessly bullied for it. So I think that's where that comes from. Is I just got bullied at a lot of my most autistic tendencies.
My main way that I've been treated throughout my life is being ignored. Like, it was never like people were actively annoyed with me. It was just nobody was interacting with me at all, and it's because I didn't notice anyone around me. Like. And I
had like the opposite. I wasn't ignored. I would say something and then someone would look at me and go, "No, that is stupid."
Yeah. Well, if people did that to me, I'd argue it though, because I was, you know, my mom is somebody who can't be wrong. You know, like she does not believe she's capable to be wrong, type thing. So I grew up thinking that's a normal way to be. Of like, if somebody's telling you that you're wrong and you're pretty sure you're right, you argue to the death, and that is not a way to make friends, you know. But like, that was how I was raised, and like, so, but like for me, it's mostly like I don't tend to, like, I think I'm just very avoidant, where like it's not that I don't understand what someone's feeling, it's that I actively am trying not to pay attention to them so that I don't get empathy, because I'll feel too much, you know. Like if I feel like somebody's sad or something, then I'm gonna feel like I have to do something about it, you know. So I'd prefer to just not even realize like what's happening unless I have to, you know.
I get like a different anxiety about it. I'm more like, I try not to notice things because I feel like ethically it would make sense for me to do something about it, but I don't trust myself to have the energy or willfulness. Like,
that's a part of it too. Yeah,
I cannot feign, you know, sincere like emotional interest in something.
As Kendrick Lamar once said, I can't fake humble just because your ass is insecure. And like, often, especially if somebody comes to me with a problem, I always feel like it's my job to help them fix it. And a lot of the time people are not looking for solutions, they're looking for venting, and I'm like, don't vent to me, because I'm gonna start trying to solve your problems. And if you don't want that, you're gonna get mad at me, and then I'm never gonna talk to you again, you know. So like,
I'm definitely good at like listening to people vent and like being emotionally supportive, but like if you want me to be like nurturing and comforting and emotionally like oh, it's okay, it's like I feel so fake doing that. Like, I cannot force that feeling, you know.
Invoice Quaint said, "Can you do an example of speaking metaphorically so I can see if I find it confusing?" Here's one that's you probably won't find confusing, but is a great example of the way I talk, which is I might say something like, name a popular movie. Like
K-pop Demon Hunters.
everyone's seen that. Everyone's got an opinion about K-pop Demon Hunters. If I say that, I don't mean literally everyone.
Yeah.
I mean like everyone within the sphere of influence that I participate in, you know. But like I will say stuff like, "Oh, well, everyone knows that," and it's like, no, maybe 1.5% of humans on Earth know this thing, you know. But like, if I've heard 2 people say something, it's everyone, you know. And so like, that's the kind of thing that most people know what I mean, but some people are like, yeah, but that's literally false. Like, not everyone. Stop saying that word. Just say lots of people. Just say everyone I know or something. Like, or
Yeah.
I've seen it come up a few times. But that's the kind of thing that, particularly in my videos and like analysis videos, if I say something like that, I will definitely get a comment that's like, well, actually, you know, not everyone. I've talked to somebody who's never seen it, or I've never seen it. You said everyone, but not me. And it's like, okay, well, that's not. I didn't mean you. You know, I meant everyone.
See, like, I understand that shit like intuitively. I know when you're exaggerating or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the people talking about saying they hate the venting, or like I'm also a problem solver. My thing is like sometimes people do just want to vent because like they can talk themselves through it. Like sometimes emotional support is the solution. It's what's frustrating is when someone vents to you about something like multiple times and they still don't do anything to fix it. That's when I get fucking annoyed. It's like I'm being your emotional sponge here and you're not like doing anything. Like I don't know. If you're good at emotionally supporting people, and by all means, but like you're not responsible to doing that. It's like if someone is overbearing with their feelings.
That's what I
you can
love
always be
about like our community is that there are people who are really good at being emotional support.
Yeah.
And like to me, it's like my job was to have made you all meet each other. My job is not to be emotional support. It's to have connected you to your emotional support. But like, I can't be the one you come to with the problems because I'm going to be too surly about it, you know? Like, I'm going to be very matter of fact and like, well, here's what you got to do. Here's the steps. And it's just like, okay, I'm just trying to cry, you know? Like, Isabel said, I'm diagnosed with psychotic depression, panic disorder, generalized anxiety, ADHD, and autism. I've never heard of psychotic depression, but that sounds intense.
Yeah.
That's like a diagnosis. She said, for the first 10 years of my life, I did not realize I was in the real world. I was taken to the doctor's office like 5 times when I was in kindergarten because I was so unresponsive to everyone that my parents thought I might have a hearing problem, which is possible. I definitely have like the audio version of dyslexia, where like I will sometimes hear words wrongly or just like get the order of them backwards in my head, and it drives Bird insane that he really has to say my name before talking to me because he'll start talking and in my head all I hear is like blah, 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 and then I'll like catch a word and realize, oh, this is directed at me, and then I'm like, oh, what were you saying? You know, and he's like, oh, like, but yeah, I have a hard time noticing that someone is talking to me unless they directly address me by name, you know, to start it off. And I think a big part of that is just like I come from a loud place, you know, like aside from all the traveling and everything, like I'm used to there just being so much noise in the background that I'm trying to block out and not pay attention to, because growing up I was very jumpy and very frightful, so it's like if I hear a noise it's gonna make me scared, so I got used to just ignoring noise, you know. And now I have to make an effort to hear things, but I've been doing that for years now, so I've gotten a lot better. And I also didn't realize how much of a problem it was until Bird started pointing out how often I don't hear things, you know? Like, most people just go, oh, that's just, you know, that's just the way they are, you know? Like, most people are not trying to fix it. They're just like, yeah, whatever, it's just what it is. And I'm like, no, I could have been doing something about this whole time if anybody had bothered to, like, make it clear to me that this was happening.
I am mentally ill.
Yeah, this is slowly turning into the share corner of all of our mental illness, but I like that, you know. That's what
fun.
I'm out here for. I've been told both by YouTube's AI and by several people in my life that I should really focus on psychology as like what I talk about.
Yeah.
And the only thing that holds me back is I have no education in it. So like there's always going to be people who are really mad at the way I use words like autism, you know, like but you know, I feel like the overall discourse around psychology has improved dramatically since COVID because everybody got locked in their rooms and fell into depression and started doing research on themselves, and then you know Instagram started constantly pushing you like mental health stuff, and like now my mom knows she's ADHD and she had no idea, you know, like until Instagram taught her, and it's like, how did you not know? You have every symptom, but like she's just never looked into it, you know, never thought about it. So yeah, I think we're getting into a situation where I think most people are starting to realize like there's probably something, you know, like you've probably got something going on. I have to pee really bad. See if you can summon him to get onto the camera.
Here, kitty, kitty. Come here, baby. Come here, behemoth. Kitty cat. I won't pet you. I pet you. Come here. I pet you. Baby. Ugh. Come, large kitty cat. I'm summoning you. Come here. The cat is not listening to me. He's being rather rude, in fact. Chungus cat. Yeah, I don't know shit about fuck when it comes to psychology, but my mental disorders are like, I feel like that's one of the things people used to feel very, very private about. Like people did not want to talk about that stuff, and that's like one of the things that I am like the least ashamed of about myself. I would not keep that private in a million years. Like, part of being an internet personality is like I want y'all to just see me as I am. This is like part of the deal, you know. I want y'all to know that it's okay to exist like this. I think being neat for 10 plus years gave me plenty of time to figure out my sense of self, which actually makes it harder to connect with people. I think most normal people don't usually take the time to work on themselves that much. Yeah, I mean, I don't consider myself normal people, so I have no idea how much, you know, quote unquote normal people, just people in general, I don't know how much everyone introspects or self-reflects or whatever the fuck. I've had a lot of time to do that because I was a trucker.
Yeah.
But I totally feel that though. It's like feeling so much oneness with yourself that you have a hard time relating to other people. I just straight up don't know how to socialize with people off the internet anymore. Like if I were to go out in like a public setting and try to make friends, I would feel, I feel so like uncomfortable, you know. I'm in my element here. Like I'm just in a house with my friend and just a very tight-knit community here. Got our Discord server. I know everyone in the Discord. I'm confident there. When I go out into, you know, public space, I feel weird as fuck. And I don't feel like it's because I'm defective or like stupid. I feel like it's because I can't relate to anybody. Like if I try to strike up a conversation with a coworker, I might have a friendly rapport with them, but sooner or later they will say something that makes me lose all respect for them. It's like a pattern that is repeated many times. It's very rare that like I meet a total stranger and they don't say something that, you know, eventually reveals them to be like, oh, like I actually don't gel with this person the way I thought I did, you know?
I have a very hard time expecting to ever see somebody again until it has happened. You know, like I have to see somebody like a lot of times before I become convinced, oh, this is a part of my life. You know, like you are somebody who I know, especially now because you have come back. You know,
Yeah.
We hadn't seen each other for like 5 months or so. So
Well,
it's
we
like,
try to make this visit happen since like fucking the end of December. Like I was talking about like, yeah, I was thinking I'd come visit you in January, and it was like, oh, a big storm warning, oh, another big storm warning, oh, you're sick, Albert's sick, and You and Bird were sick at the same time, and fucking another storm warning, and
It took literally a month.
it took like over a month. It was like 5 weeks of attempting to come over. So I finally did it, and like Bird just got sick again. So I was like expecting.
It was very likely that this wouldn't have happened because he got a fever
Yeah.
last weekend and then just narrowly beat it in time, basically.
I was kind of expecting to not be here, so it was a bit of a shock. I was like, oh, I can actually come on time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What's y'all's internal monologue like? It's shit, he walked right over the keyboard.
Giant cat didn't listen to me when I was beckoning him, and he just goes.
I ask
Catzilla over here.
I ask myself a lot of questions and then try to answer them. And I've always got music in my head. Like right now, it's turning a hat to a halo. Turning a hat to a halo, which is the first song on the new IDK album. Highly recommended if you haven't heard it. It is my favorite album of the year so far. IDK is a rapper and from Maryland. And he's done a few interviews with some of the channels I follow recently too.
My internal monologue is basically a YouTube video. Like I'm just constantly narrating things in my head and going over my special interests and explaining them to myself in a way that is organized and makes sense. And trying to decipher the details to.
It's definitely mood dependent because the different personalities, like whoever's in front is like when I say like I have a personality in the front, they're also in the front mentally. You know, like it's not just like a performative outward thing. It's like if I'm pissed off, it's Mitsue being mad and being like, this motherfucker, I can't fucking believe it fucking did this, blah, 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 like just being pissed off. But like if it's, you know, baby brain, I might be literally thinking like, oh my god, I love him so much, he's so adorable, I love it, you know. And then if it's like you know, analytical brain, it's usually me sitting thinking like, what's the most important thing I could make a video about right now? And then like going down a list and going, no, that doesn't make sense, or this like here's a reason I can't do that one, and here's blah blah blah, like trying to logic through what am I going to do next. And that's probably the main one, is like every time I finish doing something, I'm immediately trying to figure out what the next thing is, you know. So I would say more than anything else, most of my thoughts are, what am I going to do next? And then if I can't think of anything, I will start to think about people and be like, well, okay, what would this person do, or what would, you know, like what would appeal to like this person. But I rarely like reach out. I'm much more like reactive. Like people will message me and then I start thinking about them, you know. Because when I start thinking about people, I immediately remember that I've known like 500 people, and I'm like, they all start rushing through my head, you know.
Damn.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Turning a head to a halo. Your favorite of the year so far is the By Storm album. That makes sense, but yeah, it didn't appeal to me that much for the same reason as why I don't like intense movies. It's like a very emotional, intense experience that I was just like, this isn't what I'm in the mood for.
What Isabel talking about her internal monologue? It's like, always had this motherfucker in my head that's constantly yelling at me and telling me how horrible I am. I mean, I was talking to you about this earlier, but I've basically realized my internal monologue is actually two different voices, and like personifying them is how like it's very therapeutic for me, and it helps me understand more what I'm going through emotionally. Is just everything happening in my head. It's like the emotional and the rational side, but like the rational side is like a like chip on the shoulder edgy dick, and the emotional side is just a soft ooh baby. And it's about one trying to protect the other but doing a bad job of it, essentially. Like
I will tell you, and this is also what I said when we were having this conversation earlier, that like what's helped me tremendously is an aphorism I came up with that is, you are your third parent and your first child. And so if you respect yourself as, and like, you know, if you hate your parents or your parents weren't very good with children, this aphorism might have to be adapted a little to like work for you. But like, regardlessly how my parents actually are, I have always felt that my parents accept me and love me, and that if I had a child, I would do everything in my power to make that child happy. You know, I would never yell at them. I would never treat them like, oh, you're a stupid idiot. You're a piece of shit for like what you believe in. You know.
Yeah.
And so I try to apply that same logic to myself. Like, why would I be screaming at baby me?
Exactly.
You know, why am I treating baby me like shit? And then at the same time, baby me has to respect adult me as like, this is the only person who who can guide you. You know, like, this is the only person who's going to take care of you. So like, you have to respect them, you know? And like,
Exactly.
so I've achieved a lot more balance. Like what you're describing of like yelling at yourself inwardly, I used to be like that hardcore up until like this year. Like I am just now getting to a point of like, you know, if I start to enter like that kind of self-hatred, I just kind of like, this isn't helpful. You know, like this is there's no need to bully me, you know, like everyone else is going to try to bully me. I don't need to do it first, you
Exactly.
know, like so I try to be really patient with myself and nice with myself and not blame myself for like what's happening. You know, you can always blame capitalism. It's always capitalism's fault.
I've been asked, do you both have alters / headmates? I would not consider mine to be headmates. I just think of it as like left brain, right brain.
Yeah.
Just like they work in unison most of the time, to where like it's hard to decipher where each individual thought is coming from. But if I start paying attention to my pattern and analyzing it, I can figure it out. I'm just usually not thinking about it. It takes a conscious effort to be like.
Did you watch Moon Knight?
I watched a few episodes. I don't think we ever got around to finishing it, unfortunately.
Moon Knight has like the one personality is a total hard ass and the other one's a total softie.
Yeah.
But then in the very last episode, when he thinks he's resolved everything, turns out he's got a third personality he doesn't know about because it is like evil, like just outright
Jesus.
evil. And that's something that I've had to come to terms with, is like recognizing and admitting the evil part of myself is there, and that like if I don't acknowledge it, it will just do things without my permission. You know, like, so like working through that has been a big part of things I'm doing lately, of like, because like last year I felt like the divide between the baby part of my brain and the adult part was more severe, and now I've kind of brought them in closer, where like, if you remember my 9 sides of my personality video, I had Pluto and Vera, and like ultimately I realized that Vera is what Pluto's trying to be. Pluto is like arrested development child who wants to grow up, but the way I grew up doesn't allow for the expression that Pluto would have wanted to grow up into. Vera is like the image that Pluto has of what she's supposed to be like, but I can't really, like, in the end, it is Pluto. You know, like, they are the same person. So, like, I'm trying to view it as, like, oh, I'm trying to help Pluto grow up, basically. Like, without losing the things that make her beautiful and make her, you know, fun. But, like, at the same time, she can't be a baby. You know, like, it's not safe to regress into being a baby. Like, so, like, you know, but, so, you know, there is still, like, a spectrum of how much in that personality I might be, but the emergence of Nova created a lot of balance for me, like, last year, because Nova basically is a personality that I sort of developed in order to sort like, to be kind of, like, the leader inwardly. Like, Trixie is president, right? Trixie is the president of everyone. And being the president doesn't mean you're a good person. It means you're an effective person, you know? Nova is a hero. Nova is like Utena from Revolutionary Girl Utena. She's like, I'm out to protect the weak. I'm out to, like, make myself strong. And I'm out to, like, you know, literally be a good person. And so I think that having Nova has helped me a lot to just, like, look at everyone in here is valuable, you know, and like as equally worthy of existence, but they also have to get in line, you know. Like, Mitsue cannot go freak out and destroy things because it ruins my life, you know, when that happens. So Mitsue is the evil one. the angry little emo ninja girl. who prefers not to be talked about, but you know, it's healthy to say something.
Yeah.
Because you know, my internal logic says like the safest way to be is quiet, you know, but that's literally not true, because silence can be interpreted however someone wants to. In the eyes of the law, you should be silent, but in the eyes of other people, they're just gonna read into you whatever they think. And like, I think a big part of why my parents don't really understand me is because I never told them what I was thinking or feeling. And so when I finally did start telling them what I'm thinking and feeling, they were like blindsided. They were like, this is who you are? You know, like you were just sitting there quietly seeming fine. And I'm like, who's fine? What are you fucking talking about? Like, nobody's fine.
Yeah.
I was obviously depressed, you know, but like they just had no perception of that because I wasn't talking about it, you know? So that's why I try to be a lot more direct. And that's where, again, where Nova comes in, where Nova's just like, no, this is what's happening and I'm just going to talk about it, you know? Again, very Utana based. My brain is like trying to run away from this conversation now. Like, all right,
Yeah.
you're getting too detailed. Like, nobody knows who these characters are. Calm down.
I would just say, honestly, I don't think the like analytical side of my mind really like came into being until like late into my teen years. I think for most of that, it was mostly just like the fucking like immature parts, just completely focused on like I want to just feel good. Like that, when from a young age I decided my ethos was I just want to live my life in a way that is the most like pleasurable for me.
I reached that at
And
16.
yeah.
It
Like
took
that,
a while.
it's like, yeah, just being happy comes first. That comes above all else, because if I can't be happy, then there's no point in existing, was my thought process. And that still
was
kind of is to this
Literally,
day.
yeah. I mean, a lot of the way my decision making has been based on that exact revelation at 16. Like, well, why even, like, why do things that make me miserable if I don't have to, you know?
Yeah. I think around...
Sometimes you do have to, but...
Yeah, I think around age 18 was when...
Again, you can only blame capitalism, fascism.
When
That's what's doing it to you.
Rational side of the brain started to take a more dominant angle and just become more of like I had to develop skills, like life skills, in order to function after a while. Because, I mean, it's okay to be kind of like immature and like just purely hedonistic when you're like a kid, but in my teen years it was like I was getting nothing out of my lazy existence, and someone had to come along and like pick up the slack, you know.
This makes me very happy. Isabel said, my favorite aphorism you've come up with is loving someone is finding a million ways to say the same thing. I named a mixtape after it, actually, by Sad Girl Bell. Go look it up. It's not very good, but it's not completely unlistenable. I actually think you make good music, so I'm sure it's good. But yeah, it's... I don't think it was loving someone, just love, but I've always wanted to hear it said differently, because to me the way you know an aphorism worked is when you hear it back slightly different. And like I've always hoped that I would hear like someone just randomly say it but say billion instead of million, and I'd be like it was million when I said it, you know. But like that is one of my favorites. Love is finding a million ways to say the same thing. What is that thing? Well, there's a million ways to say it, so.
Oh, this chat here says, go back up. I feel completely detached from my physical self and dissociated. I feel like I'm nothing and everyone is everything and nothing, and I'm everyone in a good way. You feel me?
Yeah, I can feel that.
Honestly, that kind of describes how I feel when I'm soul crushingly depressed. Is when my mind has completely left my body behind because it doesn't want to be associated with it.
Reading that
That's
sentence
like a horrible feeling for me.
made like the midway part of the song "Fire Above, Ice Below" by Agaloch enter my brain. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if you've never heard the album Ashes Against the Grain by Agaloch, listen to that whole album. It's one of the best dissociative albums. Like, if you... Like, these days I am rarely dissociated enough to listen to Agaloch, because it's, like, kind of slow and, like, it really induces that state of mind. But if you're just zoned out and, like, not really feeling anything, throw on any Agaloch album, but especially Ashes Against the Grain, and you will feel like you are fucking floating above the earth, like seeing everything. I really want to do a sides of my personality thing where I sit down and split up my internal monologue and try to figure out what's going on, but it's so fucking disorienting. I don't know where to start. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like talking,
I've tried doing that too.
like that, because funnily enough, like the last video I had that performed better than anything I've done in years was my anime dissociatives video. That has like 20,000, 25,000 views now or something, which is more than I've gotten on anything else. Which is how I know I do need to talk about anime. You know. I don't want to say mental disorders. What's the fucking phrase? Psychology. Yeah. But I think I started off that video by saying the hardest thing about talking about dissociation is that it tends to make you dissociate. Like most people who are dissociatives, they just immediately dissociate, you know, as soon as the subject comes up. But the thing is, your brain takes in information even when you're not processing it. You know, like if you just have something on in the background and you're not paying attention to it, those words are still going through your body and your nervous system will remember. That's another aphorism I came up with recently. Your nervous system remembers everything your mind forgets. So like if you experienced it, it is in your muscle memory. It is in your physical memory. It's affecting your DNA. You know, your DNA is a story that your body is telling itself about what it's experienced. So every time something happens to you, that story enters your DNA, and that's what you end up, you know, if you have a kid, you're passing all of that on through them. You know, like their DNA remembers all that even though they didn't experience it themselves, and that's where instincts come from. Like your instinct is just that story's been told thousands of times, you know, over generations of like cheeseburger tastes good. Like, you know, a child will be born and the first time they eat a cheeseburger, they'll think it's good because generations of their, you know, ancestors thought so too. I feel like I got really in the weeds of what I was saying there. Alf Rules said, "Hey Trixie, I cannot sleep. I have to work tomorrow. Which is the best movie?" Fucking throw on Cloud Atlas. That'll knock you the fuck out.
Either that or Speed Racer, right?
The Speed Racer won't knock you out. You'll be too busy watching it.
Yeah.
I'm saying throw on something that will make you fall the fuck asleep. Or like put on like a... Oh, actually... a genre of video that I've discovered that will knock me clean out in under 10 minutes. If you search like relaxing science facts, like 4 hours of relaxing science facts or something like that, and it's just like a calming voice telling you like, you know, about like that your body is comprised of atoms and those atoms are slowly moving, you know, and like just detailing how existence is. For some reason, for me, that's super comforting. So any of those like relaxing science videos will put me to sleep.
I used to use just like white noise things to listen to back when I had like one of those little fucko Amazon thingies. It's like my
Echo.
Yeah, it was like my dad bought one for my sister-in-law, and she, even though she made it very clear she already had one, so he just gave it to me instead, and I used it only for sleep noises like ocean waves or the sounds of raindrops hitting the roof of a tent.
Email 1568 said, "Will listen, thinks I want to be an orc with a hammer in a fantasy world." That's a perfect place to be, because that Agalach album I mentioned, whenever, like the specific moment that entered my brain when you talked about feeling like the whole world is a moment that a friend of mine named Josh, who is also, like, I got him into Agalach and it became his favorite band, and he would listen to it while playing World of Warcraft specifically, and I remember him telling me that he was listening to that song while playing WoW and he felt like he was floating above the world. Like, you know, that description I gave was something he told me like 20 years ago about how he felt listening to that song playing WoW. So
amazing.
It will fit. It will be perfect. Also, like, that band is from Portland, and like, I tend to listen to music that's from the place I'm in when I'm in a place. So when I was in Oregon, there was one point where I had to drive from Portland up the border between Oregon and Washington is a river. So I was driving up that river, like on the Oregon side, for like 3 hours and just listening to Agalach. And it made me realize, like, oh, this music is this place. Like, this place I'm in and this music match so perfectly that I will never be able to disconnect them in my mind again. Like, this is the sound of driving through these mountains in northern Oregon. I'm amazed how good is written, even though usually the Wachowskis are bad writers. I disagree with that. I think they're just very on the nose. Like, they tend to put their theme, like the characters talk in themes almost. Like they don't talk like people, they talk like themes. But Bound, their first movie, is full of great dialogue. It feels like an old school who's the guy who made Rear Window? Alfred Hitchcock. Like it feels like that kind of Hitchcock era dialogue where like everyone was smart and witty all the time, you know. Which is something I feel is missing from most modern movies.
Yeah.
I just listen to good music whenever I go to sleep, and it always puts me to sleep. I can listen to any music as long as I like it. I can't listen to any hip hop and get to sleep. Like something about hearing a consistent like drum beat keeps me up. But I used to listen to Death Consciousness by Have a Nice Life and their second album also, or like Flood by Boris and Agalach, and El Cielo by Dredge, which is an album about like lucid dreaming and sleep paralysis. Daughters, you won't get what you want every night when I went to sleep. That's fucking rough. That's brutal. But I can see it. That's like listening to Swans to get to sleep. Like I don't think I could. But I find comfy vids to sleep to as intentional as this conversation is putting me to sleep. Actually, now I'm realizing it's 1 a.m. and we do need to go to bed before long. Gary always says Matrix trilogy is an underrated camp masterpiece. I wish I agreed. Like I definitely thought that from like as a teenager. I loved those movies. Revisiting them, I was just like I was just very bored through most of it. And like the first movie's pacing is just a total clusterfuck, and then the other two are just full of like way too many like lore dump scenes. Like I think it's just I don't like the lore. Like Matrix lore is really stupid to me. So as soon as they start explaining all the like Oracle shit, I'm just like I don't care.
Yeah. I tried watching the first movie a while back, and I made it about halfway in and then dipped because it felt like the whole first half of the movie was just slow build up to revealing what the Matrix is. And I already knew what the Matrix was because of cultural osmosis. So once I finally got to that reveal, it was like, okay, now the real movie finally fucking starts. And it was not an interesting movie. It was just like, you can download Kung Fu. And I was like, I don't fucking care about this at all. It was deeply uninteresting to me.
A lot of Swans fans in the chat. Swans is too intense for me, for the most part, but they are good. Their songs are just so fucking long. But yeah, I haven't seen Matrix Resurrections yet, but I am inclined to think it probably is actually better than the first three, just based on my taste and where I think Lana was coming from based on the analysis I've heard of that movie. But I haven't seen it yet, so I can't say for sure. I mean, again, Speed Racer is my favorite, and Cloud Atlas is a masterpiece. Like, it is just a baffling film in a good way.
I just want you to know the first time I ever heard of Cloud Atlas was in an episode of Rick and Morty, so every time you say Cloud Atlas, I just think of Rick and Morty. And they're watching Interdimensional Cable, and they're like, oh, look, in this one, Dad is in Cloud Atlas, and Jerry comes in and goes, I'm in Cloud Atlas? What is that?
That's hilarious.
I haven't watched that show in a while.
Yeah, Speed Racer is about why capitalism bad. Like, it's about how small family-owned businesses are great and capitalism is evil. And that's pretty much the whole theme of the movie.
I'm ready to sleep.
Yeah, all right. Good night, everybody. This was fun.
Meow meow.
Will, I mean, let's not have it take 6 months for you to come over again.
For real. I don't think it'll happen again just because it's, winter is on the downturn.
True. I'm going to be way more willing to go outside now that it's not fucking freezing.
Hopefully you can come over to my place soon. It would be epic. You and Bird can meet my new cat.
It's going to be tough for him to get time off of work to do that, but
I don't mean like right away, but like hopefully in the near future.
Yeah. I'd love to plan a trip for us.
For real.
For us all to go to a place.
Yes. That would be so fucking cool.
Yeah.
I love road tripping. It'd be better with more people.
All right, everybody. Good night.
Meow meow.
We love you.
Bye.